It's the opening week of high school football in Minnesota, and our opener here on CCX. Rivals Maple Grove and Osseo take the field. Hello and welcome to John Hanson Stadium at Carlton Field at Osseo High School. John Jacobson along with Ryan Iverson and Allie Arlt. And Allie and Ryan, this is always a fun game to start the year. And we love this game, right? Osseo Maple Grove have started the year against each other for several seasons now. Always a pretty good game. Maple Grove's won the last two, and this should be a good one again to start the 2018 season.
Well, anytime you get these two schools together in any sport, you throw out the records, you throw out the previous year's successes, and it's on, right? And these two guys, these two teams, they know each other. They're prepared. The coaches know each other. The players all work out together all summer. So anything can go. I expect a really physical game, and I expect to see two really good running attacks tonight. And anytime you got this energy, that feeling, that football in the air, it's just exciting. You see the bands, the kids here. This is just a beautiful thing to be a part of.
You know, the weightlifting is over, the summer strength and conditioning programs, the passing leagues and all that. And now it's time to play football. What's this opening night like, Ryan, as you remember back to your playing days?
Well, it's different depending on where you are. So if you're a senior and you played a lot last year, you're just ready. You're anxious. It's your last opportunity. You worked all summer long. You know what to expect. If you're a junior or sophomore and you're making your first start or your first time playing, your butterflies are churning right now. In this game, this hour before the game feels like it takes 3 weeks. It's long, but you're ready to go. And I always say this first game, it's a game of mistakes, and whoever makes the fewest of them usually wins on opening night. So whoever can just settle down and get into the flow and play football and execute is always going to have the advantage.
Let's look at our key players tonight, starting with Maple Grove, certainly one of the top players in the state this year. Senior Evan Hall rushed for over 1,200 yards during the regular season, added 900 more in the playoffs, 2,174 yards rushing for this dynamic senior.
Well, and I think he had about 700 of those the last time we did a game with that dramatic come from behind against St. Michael Albertville. But I'll tell you what's scary for opposing defenses. You put that film on from last year. He's only bigger, stronger, and faster than he was last year. And having that kind of confidence, what I look for elite players, when they were great as a junior and they come back as a senior, their confidence is through the roof, especially if they put the work in. And by all accounts, he's a really hard worker. He is fast, he is strong. They don't run anything that complicated. Here it is, this is what we're gonna do, go tackle him. And he is a great combination of speed and power.
Yeah, finished second in the 100-yard dash at the state track meet this spring. On the Osseo side, a senior back as well. He was their leading rusher a year ago, number 1, Reggie Dupree.
Yeah, and you know, in this matchup, Evan Hall is going to get a lot of that popularity, a lot of the conversation. But you know, Reggie Dupree is coming in saying, I have something to prove. And again, rivalry game, he wants to show that he may be the best running back in this area. And he's fast. He looks big and strong out here on the field as well. So I think whoever controls that line of scrimmage and can get either one of their star running backs off to a quick start is going to have the advantage tonight. But it's going to be a lot of fun. You got untested, unproven defenses too, trying to tackle two really good running backs. And if I may, John, we talked about the program having a weightlifting program. How about our CCX weightlifting program? Right. Ready and better than ever.
Worked out better for you than for me, I think. We'll get ready to kick this one off. Osseo and Maple Grove High School football 2018 season underway in just a moment. We are set for kickoff. Maple Grove won the toss and will defer to the second half. Jake Strelo will kick off for Maple Grove. Back deep for Osseo, Jake Hill, number 4, and Grant Tyus, number 23. Maple Grove in the road white with the crimson trim, and Osseo in the home black with the orange numbers. Ball blowing off the tee, and that'll be one thing to watch for, is see if this wind dies down at all, but at least to start the game, how much the wind comes into play in the kicking game and the passing game.
Well, and just having a young quarterback like Maple Grove, wanting that wind behind you maybe to make your first couple throws to get him an early rhythm too. So keep an eye on that wind, definitely in the passing game.
Strelo with the boot, and football season is underway. It's handled at the 14-yard line and returned across the 30 and 31-yard line on a good return by Grant Tyus. Let's go down now to Allie Arlt.
A new season, a young team, and some early growing pains here for Maple Grove, and tonight it's coming on special teams. Tonight they're missing their kicker, punter, and long snapper just due to some minor injury and coach's decision. But Coach Lombo says, especially with this win tonight, he's just hoping they're not going to have to punt at all. But this is a young team, graduating 30 seniors from last season. He says a lot of these guys have never even been under the bright lights on varsity football, so tonight's a big test for this team. He said he's just looking forward to see how this team shows up. This is a big test because their next 4 games, they're playing the top 4 teams in the state, guys.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule. Thanks, Sally. Great to have you back on our sidelines again this year. Sama J. Hitchcock got the handoff on the first play of the season for Osseo, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Jake Kruder is their starting quarterback. He is a junior in the shotgun, standing at his 30. Maple Grove showing blitz. He'll hand off. This is Dupree. His first carry. There's a flag down and a big defensive play in the backfield and a loss of 6 on the play. Zane Mandel, senior defensive back, comes and makes the stop. And let's check out the flag.
And oftentimes that's thrown in the backfield. It's going to be some type of holding usually, but nice job by Mandel coming up making that play in the backfield. I'm guessing they're going to decline this.
They'll take the play. It's a 6-yard loss.
I want you to see at the top of our screen, watch number 1, Zane Mandel, come into your screen right there. Does a nice job of getting off his block. And what you teach and practice is nothing outside. And he's that last line of defense. He misses that tackle. That goes for a good 5 to 10-yard gain. So a big-time tackle there by the second-level defender.
3rd and 14 for the Orioles in their first possession of the season. Kruder throws, gets the completion, but it'll be a short gain back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's it. Gain of 4 for the Orioles on the catch by Eli Barlew, a guy they really like, 6'4" senior receivers. You look at Kruder, gets the completion. It'll be 4th down and 10.
And that's, I'm okay with that play call. Short pass, you get your quarterback a little bit of confidence there, but nothing too dangerous. And if you're Maple Grove, you know, Coach Lombardi said we got a young defense and we got some athletes and we got some potential, but they're young, and that's where mistakes can happen. That's a great way to start the season, start this game out with a 3 and out. And you're going to get excellent field position here as well.
Joe Chia is their punter. Gavin Pelto back deep for Maple Grove. Chia with a good kick, fair caught, and caught by Pelto back at his 32-yard line.
You could see the wind playing a role there. Pelto almost fell down trying to recover that ball hanging in the air. So wind is definitely going to be a factor, but a great punt. And really, you know, I thought Maple Grove was going to start on the short side of the field, but pushed back all the way to the 33-yard line.
34-yard punt with no return. And a look at the Crimson offense. And for these guys, you know, Nate Elms especially, first varsity start as a sophomore. And a lot of these guys making their first varsity starts. And you talked about those nerves in the pregame, and you know, you just want to get this first series out of the way, right?
Absolutely.
We'll see a heavy dose of this guy, number 26. Hull breaks a couple tackles in the backfield, still going and all the way out to the 39-yard line. It looked like that might go for a loss initially, and Hull takes it and goes 6 yards as you look at these starters for Maple Grove.
Yeah, and that's that run's nothing fancy. That's not going to go down as a record-breaking run, but he should have been tackled in the backfield twice there. And that's what great running backs do. They make that first, second, sometimes that third defender miss. So instead of, you know, 2nd and 12, now you got 2nd and 4. So that's a big-time run. And for the quarterback, for Elms, hey, that was your first snap. There was no fumbles. You just take it baby steps at a time. And there's nothing better for a quarterback than having a great running back.
Ball came in motion, flags down, whistle, and procedure penalty against Maple Grove.
And they got Ben Bristol, number 52, with the false start. And penalties, especially early on, you want to be sharp. All preseason you talk about being sharp, being disciplined. And that 5 yards pretty much negates that big run on first down. So now you're back to 2nd and long.
Look there at the Osseo defensive starters. I think they really got good speed on that defensive side of the ball, and they're excited about the potential for this group. So back to the 35 for Maple Grove. They'll give the Hull again, a little stutter step. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, across the 40 to the 42. Will be about a yard and a half shy of a first down.
You know, when you're playing against a great running back like Hall, and you can watch this play develop, and he's got some good blocking in front, but watch him turn from east to west, north and south that quickly, and it comes down to, as a tackler, you got to have great balance, and you might not make the tackle, but you got to slow him down, and that's why you do pursuit drills over and over, John. So it needs to be all 11 guys flying to the ball, making a running back like that and bringing him down.
Hull split out to the left on this play. He'll come back in motion. They'll fake the handout. They'll give it to Fisk, and he's hit and dropped for no gain. Aaron Towson, the linebacker, comes up and makes the stop, and it's 4th down.
And I think Joe Chia, number 11, too, beat his guy.
No, it's Chia. I'm sorry. Yes, I gave you the Maple Grove number. My mistake. It's Joe Chia, two-way starter for Osseo. They are expecting a big year out of Joe this season.
Well, he's 6'4", 210. You can see he's powerful. And that was a great play. They faked that jet sweep. And if you're not disciplined, you can go for that. Just a second, that would have been a first down. That was a big play by Chia. And with 4th down, it looks like they're going to go for it. This is where you got to watch that hard snap count.
From their 42, and a whistle. Might be another full start on Maple Grove. So on 4th and 1, they'll go for it. On 4th and 6, no.
No, so it's kind of weird, John. If you look at the box score, you look at Evan Hall, and what does he have? 2 carries for 13 yards, but no first down, right? I mean, 2 penalties to negate that, and neither offense looking particularly sharp, both having a penalty on that first drive. So both head coaches, I'm sure, are going to address that.
Spencer Weary is punting tonight for Maple Grove. It's a line drive kick away to bounce past Tyus. Still rolling, and it's going to be down by Maple Grove inside the 10-yard line. Gavin Pelto getting downfield. An effective punt.
Well, he kept it low that time to keep it out of the wind, and that's where if you're back, returning a punt, you just got to grab that one. That cost them about 25 extra yards, and we've seen 2 excellent punts, and Maple Grove here with another chance to pin Osseo on their side of the field and maybe give their offense a short field to work with.
54-yard punt for Weary. So it's 1st down and 10 for Osseo. They're inside their own 10-yard line. Crudo handoff. Dupree up the middle with it. And out past the 10. Only a couple of yards to the 11, maybe 12-yard line.
And I could see, Maple Grove, they're going to be disciplined. Matt Lombardi was a defensive coordinator at Wayzata for a long time when they had some great defenses. And I get the feeling that Osseo's going to have to be a little creative. I don't think they're going to be able to run the football overly effective. I think they're going to have to get some conversions through the passing game, through maybe a reverse or screens, things like that. Maple Grove is notoriously known to be an aggressive defense, and sometimes maybe you can try to use that against them.
Cruder under center this time. He'll roll out, throw, ball tipped and almost intercepted. Anthony Gibson, junior linebacker, number 7, almost picked that off.
Oh, that was just a great job by Gibson, and that's the tough out of that play action like that. And Maple Grove instinctively very, very solid that time. There was no opening, and Gibson made a nice cut on the ball. And if he catches that, John, he might be able to walk into the end zone. Now, the other thing, too, when you play Maple Grove is they only have 3 down linemen, but they'll bring pressure from linebackers, and you never know where it's coming from, so it can be really hard to block.
3rd down, the pitch goes to Dupree, trying to get wide, and he can't. And there's Gibson again making a play and makes the tackle on Dupree, who comes up limping a little bit and gets to the 13-yard line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that play was made for 2 things. Number 1, Mandel right there, Zane Mandel. You could see he set that edge. There was nowhere to go. With Dupree's great speed, he was not allowed to get outside. There's a look at Ryan Stockdale in his 3rd season as the head coach at Osseo. But how about Gibson flying down the lane, making a tackle? And another 3 and out here for the Osseo offense.
Maple Grove should get good field position here. Chia will punt from his end zone. Good snap. Chia gets a good kick away. Alto all the way back to his 40 and tackled back inside the 38. Steve Arell, junior cornerback and wide receiver, makes the play.
Well, that was another beautiful punt and a dangerous catch there by Pelto. A nice catch. That's not easy, but how about Arell flying down there making the tackle? And that's twice now. Osseo looked like was backed into that 10 to 15 yard line. It looked like Maple Grove's offense was going to get a really short field, but that's the value of special teams.
50-yard punt by Chia. So Maple Grove starting in their own territory. They're at their 38-yard line. Helms to throw the ball for the first time and has the ball batted at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Matt Lombardi now his 8th season as head coach, 58-20. Got to the semifinals in Class 6A last year before losing to eventual state champion Eden Prairie.
I just love his demeanor. I love he's a kind of a Bill Belichick type, right? With that cutoff sweatshirt and wearing shorts. He's just no nonsense. Just an excellent football coach, great teacher of the game, and a smart football coach.
2nd down and 10. Second drive of the game for the Crimson. This is Hull, 40-yard line, breaking a tackle and getting out to the 45 to pick up of 7. Hull with 3 carries, 21 yards so far.
And I think the impressive thing, John, was there wasn't much there, right? I mean, there was not a big hole. It was well blocked, but there was contact at the line of scrimmage. But again, great running backs, especially at the high school level. They just don't, they make people miss, and they turn an average play into a good play.
3rd and 3 from the 45 of Maple Grove. We're inside of 5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. No score between the Crimson and the Orioles. Whistle again before the play can start. Had a couple of procedure penalties at the line for Maple Grove.
3rd one.
Another false start.
And again, at the really inopportune time, 3rd down and short. We had 4th down and short on the previous drive, and those are the penalties that will just crush you. 1st and 10, you get a penalty. Okay, you're 1st and 15, but when you're 3rd and 4th and manageable, and now you're back to 3rd and long, those are big-time penalties, especially when you have a young quarterback, because now Osseo's going to pin their ears back. They got good athletes, and you're probably in some type of passing situation. Or do you just give it to the known, right? You give it to Evan Hall and say, go get us 8 yards and put us in a reasonable 4th down.
Helms will throw, though. Roll out, taking his time, fires downfield and a little bit high and incomplete. Gil Ajiman was the intended receiver, senior running back.
And right here you can see Ajiman, number 2. He stopped running. If he keeps running on that one, that ball might be complete. I'll tell you what, that's an impressive throw for the sophomore on the run, moving to his right. And if you're going to miss on that, you want to miss longs, not short where it can be intercepted. But I thought if Ajiman kept running there, that might have been a completion.
Weary with his 2nd punt. This one might be returnable. Bounce, and then takes a sideway bounce. And I was lucky to hang on to that one and goes after it and is tackled immediately. Fortunate not to fumble the ball.
Yeah, I thought he was going to let this go. And he's lucky there, because as soon as he picks that up, there's contact, big time tackle, too, by Pelto running down the field. I'll tell you, special teams has been the most excitement here so far. Some good punts, some great tackles.
4 punts so far in the opening 8 minutes of the season.
And no 1st downs yet. Which offense is going to convert that 3rd down and get a little bit of confidence and a little bit of momentum going?
From the 23-yard line, Hitchcock, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Cooper Wakeshide, number 3, comes up and makes the tackle.
Yeah, he's a linebacker. Watch where he comes from, right up the middle there. And again, that's what I talked about. You'll see only 3 white jerseys on that line of scrimmage. and those linebackers move around and they're aggressive, and you never know which one is coming. They'll fake like they're coming and then drop back. So you have to not only be physically great at what you do when you're playing Maple Grove, you got to be mentally sharp. You got to know what your responsibility is.
Jake Strelo also there defensively on that play. It's a loss of a couple. 2nd down and 12 here for Osseo. Handoff fake, and then the throw on the run, and a completion to the sideline. It's Barlow on the catch. And the first completion, or second completion rather, for Jake Kruder.
Again, a nice throw, a good ball fake there, a little play action, get Kruder moving out of the pocket so you get away from that pressure. And he's showing off a nice arm there with some good mobility, and he delivered a strike, and that's big time. That gets him that 3rd manageable again here. Now if you're Osseo, you've got to convert. I'll tell you, when you're 3rd and 4 or less, it opens the whole playbook up, right? When you're 3rd and 12, you're really limited in what you can call. So I love that conversion right there, a chance to give him a manageable 3rd down.
Wildcat will come right to Dupree on the handoff, and trying to keep his feet, and can't go down in the backfield. Well defensed by Maple Grove, and they drop Dupree for a loss of 4.
I like the Wildcat. You get the ball in your hands of your playmaker right there. Again, just very well defended, and a nice job by Maple Grove staying home. They set that edge. There just was nowhere for Dupree to go, and a great job of pursuit and gang tackling by the Crimson.
Osseo will fire away his 3rd punt of the first quarter. Good rush by Maple Grove, but he gets another strong kick away. Pelto fumbles it. Ball on the ground, and he got it back.
And you can see that wind, John. I think that wind is moving that ball a little bit. Pelto normally very sure-handed, and looked like that wind blew it back a little bit. The Crimson lucky to recover that, but again, a great punt by Osseo.
She averaging 43 yards a kick so far. Maple Grove will try to move the sticks as we look for our first down of the game. Elms back under center, line of scrimmage to 30. Here's Hull across the 35, and then really got popped as he got to the 37-yard line. Grant Tyus, the safety, delivering the hit up high, but Hull gains 7 yards on 1st down.
And that's about what he's averaging here so far this year, and I think last year he was right around that 7 to 8 yard mark. So he's incredibly consistent. The question for the Crimson is, especially when they play a really good team with a great defense, is who's going to emerge as that second threat, right? Just to have a little bit of that balance to take some of that pressure off of Evan Hall.
Scanson, the fullback, in motion. He fills the hole. Hull's got a 1st down to the 40, out to midfield, 45-yard line, and down inside the Osseo 40 to the 39. Gain of 24 for Evan Hall, and there's the first down in the game.
You can see a nice job, very well blocked. There's no contact there. And what Evan Hall does, I'll tell you what, is he just gets to that second level so quick. And you see him swinging that arm to finish that run. He's looking for contact. He is not a guy that goes down easily. You got to tackle, and you better bring it, because he's bringing his physicality every time he touches that ball.
Deontay Ferguson on the tackle for Osseo. 1st and 10, Maple Grove at the Osseo 39. Handoff to Hull again, right side. He's got another hole, and he's close to another 1st down inside the 30.
You know the other amazing thing, too, about the great running backs, they seem to get better as the game goes on. They just wear a defense down. And again, well blocked on the right side of that line of scrimmage, and Evan Hall seems to get stronger. We've seen that last year when he'd get 30 to 35 carries in a game, and he looked as fresh in the 4th quarter as he did to start a game.
Fisk is the back now. He'll give Hull a breather from time to time. Elms fumbles it. Fisk picks it up, and she is there to drop him back at the 38-yard line. Be a loss of 8 yards for Maple Grove.
Just when you get that momentum going, you have a play like that where you put the ball on the ground, And a heads-up play, too, by Fisk just recovering that. That's where you just want to fall on it, right? Don't try to make a play out of that, but a really nice job by Chia as he blows through there again and makes another tackle for loss.
3rd and 9 for Maple Grove after they had 2nd and short. Hull back in the game. Elms looking to throw, has got a rush, delivers a pass, a short pass, and back to the line of scrimmage, Hull, and that's it.
Nice job by Jack Johnson. They're reading that screen out and making that play.
Connor Wayne also on tackle as we have come to the end of the first quarter. No score between Maple Grove and Osseo. Well, the last time, Clyde and I and Allie and the rest of our crew were together for a high school football game at Park Center High School last November. Remember what happened. It was a great comeback by Maple Grove after they had scored 1 touchdown. They get the pass out to Joe Raymond here. He goes for a score.
What a game he had, too.
He had a great last minute of that game.
Just phenomenal.
He had caught a touchdown before that. This is the onside kick. Andy Peterson was a great kicker for them last year. Able to get that onside kick. Raymond with this great one-handed catch brings it in inside the 5, and that was just seconds to go. Evan Hull goes in untouched left side in for a touchdown. 19 points in 59 seconds, and Maple Grove wins the Maple Grove Miracle over St. Michael Albertville 29-27.
How many millions of people saw that our copy? I mean, just a great job by our camera guys, our producers, and by you calling. I mean, it was just a fun game to be a part of, and that's something you just won't see ever again probably in your lifetime.
That was a fun one. 29-27. So we will start the second quarter with another punt. This will be handled on a bounce, and then delivering a big downfield special teams tackle is Jacob Engel, sophomore, delivering the blow on the return. This will start inside its 20-yard line.
And you get the feeling too that Coach Lombardi he's happy right now to just play field position. I think he's trusting his defense to say, hey, I know you guys can stop them. We're not going to make any bad decisions on offense. We're not going to act desperate. We're not going to try to get something that's not there. We'll play field position, and it's just a matter of time before we break one with our running back.
Nose of the football right at the 20 for Osseo here. Jake Kruder, the junior, ready to go with this Osseo offense, trying to get them a first down. Delivers a pass and a short gain, but it is a completion to the 25 as Barlow. He's been the receiver on all 3 of Kruder's completions so far in this game. A gain of just about 5 yards.
I like that play call too. Just a quick, easy throw for your quarterback. He's starting to get in a nice rhythm, Kruder is, and it's a safe throw, and you gain 5-6 yards, and they've just proven they haven't been able to effectively run the ball, at least on first down. So I like that play call.
Fake the handoff and then throw, but the pass a little bit low, intended through Chia, tight end, and it'll be 3rd down.
And again, some exotic coverages and pressure there coming from Maple Grove. I thought Osseo did a nice job of picking it up or getting rid of the ball. That's how you defeat pressure. If you can get rid of it quickly, or if you got to have a good running back in there to help pick up some of that pressure. And that pass was there. It was just a little bit low.
On 3rd and 5, they'll run the ball, and it's a first down. Hitchcock's got a big hole up the middle. He's going to go. 20, 10, touchdown, 75 yards.
Wow. 3rd and 6, they've been throwing the ball, having success, and they come back with it right up the middle, and Hitchcock, he says, Evan Hall, you might be fast, but so am I. A great cut there at the line of scrimmage, and then it's off to the races. Hitchcock, he's that 205, 210-pound running back. He's got great power, and that time showing off some great speed. And how about that answer by the Osseo Orioles offense, struggling so far all game long, and they break a big one for 6.
Samaje Hitchcock, a 75-yard touchdown run. Ernesto Tablas is the kicker for Osseo. His extra point is up and through. And with 11:02 remaining here in the second quarter, it's 7-0.
Let's just see how this is blocked. And I tell you, Hitchcock does a nice job that time of patience. You can see he lets his lineman take care, and he kind of hides behind him. And then when he gets to that about 3 to 4 yard mark, just a subtle little cut, and then he's off in the open. And what you talk about all fall and preseason and summer is you finish your runs. And as a running back, Hitchcock did a beautiful job. He finished that run, never slowed down. He gets that open field. You can see how excited the Orioles are. They know this is not only the first game of the year, but against a really good program in Maple Grove, and they're fired up. It's always that great feeling to get that first score, that first big play.
Hitchcock was the second leading rusher last year behind Dupree. But on the season, you know, he didn't have a touchdown at all during a regular season. Had one postseason touchdown.
Well, if you're going to have a first one, that's not a bad one to get it on. A long run on third down. And really just a spark that offense needed. And I'll tell you, John, you see it so many times, teams struggling. You get that one big play, and all of a sudden it breeds confidence with the rest of the linemen, the rest of the offense. And a lot of times it'll carry over to defense and special teams as well. So let's see if Osseo can feed off of that energy in that play and capitalize even more on it.
Tablas will kick off now for Osseo. First kickoff of the night for the Orioles. And the kick will be handled at the 18-yard line. Spinning out of a tackle, and return out to just shy of the 30-yard line.
Nice job by Osseo staying in their lanes that time. You could tell, I mean, Ansa has some good speed there, and it looked like if he got outside, he could do some damage, but Osseo staying in their lane, staying disciplined, and they had about 4 or 5 people gang tackle there.
Let's see if this gives Osseo's defense a little boost now playing with the lead.
You know, and if you're Maple Grove, it's one score. You don't need to get it all back. So, you know, and Coach Lombardi having that experience, having been around the block, he knows that. I wouldn't expect to see too much different here by the Crimson offense.
And first down, play action as they fake to Hull and throw out of the backfield and then drop by Scanson. Good play call. But
great play call.
Scanson unable to come up with the catch, and 2nd and 10.
Play action only works when the defense thinks you're going to hand the ball off. And, of course, when you got Evan Hull back there, they believe it, and they bought it, and they worked. And that time, Scanson was open. That ball looked to be a little bit behind him, too. Probably one that he should catch, but that's where, you know, just with experience, Elms and confidence is going to only get better and better. But that's a ball he's got to deliver on the money. And there was plenty of real estate too. That could have been a decent gain there on first down.
2nd down 10. They'll give to Hull. 35-yard line to the 40. First down and more into Osseo territory. And there he goes down the sideline, showing off that sprinter speed. 70 yards for an Evan Hull touchdown.
Whatever you can do, I can do better, right, John? And that's what the great ones do. They take it personal. And I'll tell you what, that was extremely well blocked. Watch this coming on. You see the big guys, 3 guys pulling out to the right side, and just really well blocked. And then right there, you got to take a better angle when you're playing against a kid that can run a 4.4, 4.5. And you can see he just outruns all the black jerseys there. And that's a big-time answer by a big-time player and a great drive by Maple Grove.
Jake Strelo to try to add the extra point here. Kick is up, and it is through. And it is 7-7 with 10:39 to play. And just 23 seconds after the touchdown by Hitchcock, Evan Hull able to answer for Maple Grove.
And again, I can't stress this enough. Watch those 3 guys out in front of him just doing an outstanding job. You see Ben Bristol, number 52, out there. and he gets outside, and again, you've got to take a better angle when you're chasing speed, and he gets outside, his eyes light up, and he's showing how much faster he was. He was fast last year. He looks even faster and stronger this year. You know, when you are a senior and you're a great player, sometimes you feel personally responsible for your team, and when another team makes a big play, that's when leaders step up and they impact the game. And he got that ball, he ran a little bit harder, and he knew as soon as he got to that second level, he wasn't just content getting 10, 15 yards. He wanted to take that to the house, and he did. And he's a phenomenal talent, but a great job blocking there on the right side.
7 carries, 131 yards so far.
I don't know math well, but I think that's over 20, almost 20 yards a carry, and that's good. You want that. Well, the crazy thing, when we did his playoff game last year, you look at the stats, he was averaging, 8 or 9 yards a carry. You know, to do that for one game it can be misleading, but to do it for a whole season is just remarkable.
Well, again, blowing off the tee for Strelo.
You know, you always do it. Sometimes you get the feeling you'd always got to be, in the first games, beware of those trick plays, an onside kick, a fake punt, and those types of things.
Kick is away, taken by one of the up men, and return for not a terribly long game, pretty well covered. Sheldon Robinson was on the return for Osseo. He got it out to the 27. There is a flag down. A hold on the return on Osseo.
Well, we talk often, John, about momentum. Football is such a game of momentum, and right now Osseo had it. They had the energy. The visiting team responds with a big touchdown play. Can Osseo get that back? Can they get another play? The last thing you want to do after you give up a big play is go 3 and out and give that offense the ball back again right away.
Penalty backs the Orioles offense back to their 17-yard line. The Grove fans fired up, right?
Absolutely. This game means, this is football, but it's the start of the school year. We got new seniors. They're trying to establish their identity as fans as well. So this game means quite a bit. You can see the energy level on both sides.
Hitchcock gets the carry on first down. Wakeshide with the tackle, but a pretty good first down run for Hitchcock. He picks up 4 yards, close to 5.
Well, and really, he's had more of an impact on this game than Reggie Dupree, who we thought, really was their leading rusher. And coming back, we saw Reggie Dupree limp a little bit there on the last possession, but he is out on the field, so let's not forget about him.
Dupree spread out there, bottom of your screen, number 1. Fake the handoff, a little pass to Chia, and he makes the catch and has it out past the 25, and it'll be enough. Well, it'll be close to a first down. Let's see where it is a first down for Osseo.
I'll tell you what, I like Joe Chia a lot. He's impacted this game at defensive end and their tight end, and you can see he's got such a great body. He's got those long strides. He's a good athlete. And again, a nice, safe throw for Kruder, and he executes it very well, and a nice first down. That's what you're looking for. A little bit of sustained drives, right? A little bit of, let's put 2, 3, 4 good plays back to back to back.
Well, fresh set of downs for Osseo. Hitchcock gets the carry. Ball comes loose. Maple Grove says they believe they have it. Somebody's got it at the end of the play, and it is Maple Grove football. Ross Kruger, number 35, had it at the end. I don't know if he was the one that recovered it, but he's the one that came out of there from the pile. And let's take a look at it again.
Ooh. That's close, isn't it, John? That looked like he was almost down, but that's where, as a running back, obviously in high school football, you don't have the advantage of replay, but you got to have 2 hands on that ball. When it was first down, you're only going to get 2 or 3 yards. You can't be reaching out like that. You got to take the down. But I'll tell you what, a heads up by Maple Grove. They get on the ground, and You always do that pointing because then you let the ref know that it was fumbled, and sometimes that can be powerful too in persuading them to believe that it was a fumble.
Here's Hull on first down, and he's hit. Chia coming up immediately and making contact along with Varfi Sirion. No gain for Evan Hull there. That's his first no gain tonight. His shortest gain previous to that had been 7 yards.
Well, in that time, there's nothing a great running back can do when Chia's waiting for him, and you have 2 other black jerseys there in the backfield. Very well defense. And you see Chia starting to play with a lot of confidence. He feels like he can get in that backfield and disrupt this running game.
Two receivers to the right. They go back to Hull, though, on second down, and he spins inside the 25 down to the 22-yard line.
I'll tell you the other thing that's tough, too. He's only 5'11", but watch this right here. Looks like he's going to go down, but he keeps that balance, and that's what great running backs always do. Their power is in their legs. Look at how strong his legs are. And he keeps them going. Really good running backs, their legs are always going, their feet are always moving, and that time almost went down to the ground, able to, with his strength, stay up on the ground, get an extra couple of yards.
Moses Adedeji on the tackle for the Orioles. They're down, they'll go to Hull again. He's got a first down. He'll get to the 15-yard line, down to the 14. A gain of 9 and another Maple Grove first down.
I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with this offensive line in Maple Grove. As great as Evan Hall is, sometimes he's not getting contact at least 3-4 yards down the field. And you're seeing the white jerseys are winning that off that line of scrimmage right now. They're moving that pile backwards. And that was a good first down conversion there on third down.
First and 10 from the 14. He'll go to Hull again, finds a little bit of a seam, and is inside the 10-yard line down to near the 6. Orioles player coming up hurt at the end. That might be Tyus. I think, get his ankle rolled up on at the end of that run.
You know, John, I can watch any injuries, but for whatever reason, I think as a former football and basketball player who sprained his ankle bad, I hate watching ankles.
You can see that left leg and foot pinned backwards and Hull on top of him.
You know, that's the other thing. These first games, they're obviously way more physical than your preseason and scrimmages that you've had. And so it's part of it, your body's got to get used to that kind of contact. Not saying that would have mattered when you sprain an ankle, but you start noticing that first game, you notice hits a little bit more, right? And then the second, third game, little nicks and bruises that you might have noticed that first game you're used to. Your body gets acclimated to it. So that's why it's so good to get this first game underway, get a couple of good hits, and your body starts to get used to it, and you don't feel those as much. But you certainly hope that young man, Tyus, is okay.
Starting free safety and a kick return and punt return. So a big loss for them. Second down and 3 here for the Crimson. They go to Fisk here, and he is hit. Loses the football. Ball is still out. The players had shots at it. I think Osseo.
It looked like Osseo had it, and they do.
And the recovery is by Jack Johnson, junior linebacker.
Right there, I thought Osseo had it, and that ball squirted loose, and just a nice job by Johnson. Look at him getting on the ground to recover that. And again, that's a sign of great coaching. You see all those black jerseys, that ball's on the ground, and those Osseo guys were flying at it. And that's one thing you talk about every day. We got to win the turnover battle, and right now they've given up one on a fumble, and they got another one back, and they did it at an opportune time when Maple Grove was about to score.
First down and 10. They're deep in their own territory. They'll give it to Dupree. He'll gain a yard, maybe 2, before he's tackled. Dylan Huff on the stop for Maple Grove. Let's check out this flag. Holding on Osseo. But you're only half the distance to the goal at this point. They might just take the play, which was maybe half a yard gained.
You know, other than the touchdown run by Hitchcock, Osseo just has not had much success running the football.
71
They do decline the penalty, so it's second down and still about 10 to go.
You got 3 wide receivers to the bottom of her screen and 1 top, so you got 4 wide receivers. Let's watch for a play action. They've done a lot of quick hitters off the play action. Now you're going to get Strelo jumping in the backfield. He was coming on the pressure that time and was a little bit too eager.
So I'll make it second down and 5. Osseo rehuddle, see what they come out with here. Still got the receivers to the bottom of your screen there, as you can see. Kruder from the shotgun, standing at his 12. They'll hand off. Hitchcock on the carry, spins out to the 18, and they'll have a first down. No, excuse me, short of first down.
Well, and keep an eye on that formation, John. They're going to run it again here because what they're setting up, they got really good height out there, and you can see Chia at the bottom of your screen in the middle there. Keep an eye on a fake, and there's another offsides. They're getting them on that hard count, and Maple Grove not showing much discipline right there, and that's going to be enough for a first down. That's a great job by Osseo, being disciplined, not jumping, and a nice job too by Kruder getting them to jump.
Lombardi can't be too happy with that. 2 of those penalties in 3 plays.
You know, we always used to say, our coach Mike Grant used to always say, you know, the other team might beat us, but we can't beat ourselves. And those are the kind of plays that beat yourself. Team that's struggling to move the ball, you give them a free first down.
5 penalties for 25 yards on the Crimson here in the first half. First and 10 for Osseo from their 24. Unless we might have taken too much time here.
You get a timeout in, or? Yep.
Yep, you're right. They did get a timeout.
I'll tell you, by taking that type of patience on snapping the ball, you can see Maple Grove's linebackers coming up, and it's got them twice there. And I think you just throw it. You're looking for any little advantage you can get. And if you can throw the timing of that pressure that Maple Grove brings with their linebackers, that's an advantage for Osseo.
More football coming Friday on CCX as Park Center hosts Cooper. The game's scheduled for 5 o'clock, although there's talk of possibly moving that off to a 3 o'clock start because of some expected bad weather in the area late in the afternoon, severe weather. They'll make a decision on that, if not tonight, by tomorrow morning. Jay Wilcox, Joe Moline, and Ali Arlt to be on the call of that one here live on CCX.
It's just a fun time of year, though, isn't it? There's that certain smell of football, and it's the grass, and obviously there's turf here, but that temperature's starting to get a little. We normally sometimes have some really hot games. You know, this is perfect temperature for these guys, and a little wind to keep them cool, but it's not cold yet. It's just a fun time of year.
Out of the timeout, first down and 10. Kruder throws in low and incomplete. Intended receiver was Jake Hill. Kruder's 4 out of 7 passing so far for 27 yards.
Yeah, nothing deep, right? A lot of just short, easy, quick throws. And I like that offense. It's 4 wide receivers. They're doing trips on one side of the field, and a lot of times, and like that time, Jake Hill had one-on-one coverage. So if he's able to catch that and make one guy miss, he might be able to turn that into a big play. Again, I'd keep an eye on number 11, Joe Chia. He's down at the bottom of our screen there in the middle with 3 wide receivers, and he's kind of been their playmaker so far today.
Second down, they'll give it to Hitchcock. A couple of yards out past the 25 to the 26-yard line. They're well defensed by Maple Grove. Wegg shied the last one off the bottom of the pile. They'll bring up third down for Osseo and 7 to go.
Camp's number 34 right there. I can tell you, Maple Grove, they're hitting. when these running backs are getting contact, they are going down or backward. So, again, nice job by these linebackers at Maple Grove. And, Coach Lombardi puts a lot on those linebackers. They have to be smart. They have to be the playmakers, and they're all over the field. And so far, have been very impressive.
3rd and 7 from the 27 for Maple Grove. Kruger looking toward Chia, missed him on the pass. He also had Barlow in the area. He kind of misfired on it. Zane Mandel was the closest one to it, number 1 for Maple Grove.
And I think Zane was surprised why he did not react to this pass in the air. This ball should have been intercepted. Any of those long throws across the field like that hang in the air can be very dangerous. And Osseo that time, I think, fortunate to not have that ball intercepted.
Chia will line up for his 4th punt of the game on a 4th down and 7 here for Osseo. Winding down toward 5.5 minutes to play. Low snap. Chia. It's another good kick away. Man, he has booted some long ones here tonight. This one handled, though, and the best return for Maple Grove, and brought by Pelto across his 40 of the 42. Maple Grove 1st down and 10 from their 42-yard line. We're tied at 7.
Well, the game's certainly gone fast. I guess that's what you get when you have 2 running teams, right? And that clock's moving. And
on 1st down with Skansen in motion. They'll give to Hull, hit in the backfield, hit again, still on his feet, 45-yard line, and finally wrestled by Chia down to the ground at the 47, but a 5-yard pickup for Hull. Let's go down to the field and Ali Arlt.
Guys, earlier we saw Osseo's safety, Grant Tyus, get helped off the field with what appears to be a left ankle injury. Right now, he's got it iced up. He's up sitting on the table, and his probability of coming back in isn't looking good, but we'll keep an eye on it on the rest of the game.
All right, thanks, Al. And I would think especially early in the season, you're not going to take a chance on having something prolong into an injury that lingers past week 1 here. Hull on the carry on 2nd down. Gets the ball into Osseo territory, and it's a 1st down.
Well, it's easy for us and as coaches to say that, but when you're a 17, 18-year-old kid, you're not necessarily thinking long-term. This is your first game, your adrenaline's going. You're bummed that you can't get back in there, but you're absolutely right. It's a football season is a marathon, not a sprint. So yeah, you want to heal up. You don't want to make that worse. And an ankle injury is one of those that can linger for weeks if you don't take the time and get it healed fully.
1st and 10 for the Crimson from the 43.
How about the run before that when he made 3 people in the backfield miss? Only got 4 or 5 yards, but it's just spectacular.
And he'll get the call again. Inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line. A 1st down run of 4.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking too, John, up here is can Nate Elms, can they trust him to run the football, right? Because you know that Osseo is focused on stopping number 26. If they were to run any type of bootleg or play action away from that, you got a feeling that Elms could probably have a pretty big opportunity there. The question is, A, is he a great runner? And B, do they trust the sophomore quarterback making that kind of play?
Doesn't rush the ball tonight. He's thrown 3 passes yet to complete one. 2nd down and 6. Here's your little bootleg throw on this one, and it's intercepted. It is picked off, and the 2nd Osseo turnover of the night. Interception by Deontay Ferguson, senior cornerback.
Oh, nice diving catch there by Ferguson, and that's turnover number 2 so far. But I'll tell you what, that's just going to come with the experience on that one. If there's no one open, you throw it away. And you can see there was 2 receivers a lot closer there that might have been the better throw. But when you're rolling left like that, trying to throw across your body, you can't get a lot on it. That's one you either check down to an easier throw, or you learn to throw it away, or you run with it. but the last thing you want to do is turn that ball over, and that he'll learn that. You can tell he's got a good arm, strong, big kid, and part of it is just getting experience.
So Ferguson gives the Orioles offense the football back. Here's Dupree on first down. He's hit and brought down after a gain of 2. Joe Bulow on the tackle.
Is Maple Grove hitting, or is it just me up here? I mean, there's contact, and they are down. And Bulow, nice job running down the line of scrimmage that time, made a big-time tackle. And, you know, good first down, a gain of 3 or 4 yards. I think Osseo will take that.
Another player jumping into the neutral zone for the Crimson. This time it's
Ross Kruger.
Ross Kruger came in, and there'll be 5 more yards against Osseo. Against Maple Grove, excuse me, on their defense.
If teams are watching the film of this, that's one way to get Maple Grove and take their aggressiveness away, right? Change up that snap count. Because that's half of it. When you blitz, it's timing, right? If you can time that and get right off before the offensive line can adjust to it, a lot of times you're running free. And the one way to throw that off is by going on different snap counts.
The 2nd and 7 becomes 2nd and 2 for Osseo. Reuter going deep to Barlow and ran out of real estate on that right side. Ball was overthrown and pretty well covered by Kevin Ansa. And it'll be 3rd down. Well, not a bad play call when you got 2nd and 2. Go long.
You feel like you can get the first down still on that next play, but you're right. I like that throw. And part of experience and being a really good quarterback is you always give your guy a chance to make that catch. That ball was a good 5 or 6 yards into the out of bounds line. There was just no possible way. If anything, you want to miss deep or long, but you want to give your playmakers a chance to go make a play.
Cruder looking to the sideline, long count on 3rd down and 2 from the Orioles 31. He'll hand off Hitchcock, and he'll get the first down out to the 35-yard line and gain 4.
Nice job by Osseo that time, just blocking enough up front. You can see they leave number 58 that time. You can Bulow unblocked from that defensive end. He's got to come down the line and close that gap. And they just know they got a powerful running back in Hitchcock, and he hits that hole, gets a first down.
Osseo 2 timeouts remaining. Clock running under 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the first half. Hitchcock now will move on the other side of Kruder. They fake the handoff, the throw, and it's high and incomplete, intended for Dupree. Sails out of bounds.
You know, that's one of those where you're not sure if it's a lateral or behind the line of scrimmage. So you'd see Maple Grove chasing after it. Osseo lucky that ball got out of bounds, because I'm not sure if that was a forward pass or not. But again, a pretty quick throw, and that's one that you got to be able to hit. You got to be able to complete, and you're giving Dupree a chance to get that ball out in space where he is dangerous, quick, can make people miss. And if you're Osseo, that's what you need. You need to find a way to get Dupree an explosive play here.
2nd and 10 from the 35. Kruder will roll out. He'll get the completion. Hitchcock 40-45, dancing the sideline. Unable to stay in, and he stepped out at the 43, so shy of the first down by a couple of yards. The Osseo coaching staff thought he had gotten, could have gotten called here. As you look at the run by Hitchcock, he steps out of bounds right there, and then. But you know, if you're the defensive back, I don't think you don't know that he's run out of bounds yet. So,
well, I'll tell you what, Hitchcock's been their most explosive player, but Kruder, he's really good throwing to his right, isn't he? When he's scrambling to his right a little bit, that's where he's had most of his success tonight throwing the ball.
3rd down and 2. The throw and the completion in traffic, but a first down for Osseo on the catch by Joe Chia.
Well, nice catch by Chia, knowing you're going to get hit, right? And that ball hung in the air just a little bit. Dylan Huff, number 21, watch him come flying here. Looked like he might get there in time to get that ball. But a nice catch, nice throw. And I love Osseo trusting their quarterback. 3rd and 2, don't run the ball. We're going to take a shot here and a big-time throw. That's how you build confidence.
Out near midfield. They'll give to Hitchcock again. He's into Maple Grove territory, but not by much. Gain 2 to the Maple Grove 49 on Hitchcock's 10th carry today. And it's 2nd and 8. And if with the clock still running.
I was going to say, if you're Osseo, the very worst thing right now, you go in tied 7-7. You cannot have a turnover and give the ball back to Maple Grove or give their defense a chance to make an explosive play here. Got plenty of time.
2nd down and 8. He's going deep down the left side, just off the hands of Jake Hill and incomplete. Or that could have been 6.
I'll tell you what, that was pretty well thrown from up here. It looked like he way overthrew that one, but Jake Hill gets there and that ball's on his fingertips. That's one you gotta have. I'll tell you, really well ran route and a really nice looking throw. And you can tell Kruder, his confidence has gotten stronger as this game's gone on, and you get some of those little completions, all of a sudden, you know, you feel like, hey, I can make any throw, and I love that they went for it there. And a good throw.
3rd and 8 now. Clock stop with 1:03 to play.
Well, the other thing, by throwing over the top like that, John, even though they didn't complete it, maybe you soften that defense up and are able to run the ball a little bit too.
Blitz coming, throw and incomplete. And it's 4th down, and Osseo will have to punt. So they get a little bit of a drive going and take some time off the clock, and maybe, as you said, if nothing else, they go into halftime at 7-7.
I'll tell you, that was a smart throw by Kruder. He knew he wasn't going to complete that. He overthrew it and said, hey, I'll live to fight another day. I'm not turning this ball over. So that was a heads-up play by the quarterback.
We have a timeout here, it looks like, by Osseo. They'll take their 2nd timeout. Chia will be in for his 5th punt.
You know, and if you're Maple Grove, do you try some type of reverse here on a punt return, or see if you can get a decent return? And again, with Evan Hall, you always have that possibility of him taking it all the way to the end zone on any given play, or is this a time where you say to your sophomore quarterback, hey, let's take a shot down the field. The worst, if you get an interception, so what? But maybe you complete one. You jumpstart his career and his season that way as well. And Maple Grove's going to get the ball too to start the 2nd half. And the other thing too, just in watching Matt Lombardi over the years, I'll tell you, I think he does a really good job at halftime as far as adjusting. We saw a lot of offsides penalties on his linebackers. I have a feeling he'll talk to them about their timing and not showing their pressure and their blitzes too soon. And you know, football it's a game of adjustments, and what adjustments are made at halftime, and it becomes a chess match at that point.
Good snap away. Chia gets a high kick away. Gets it back, makes the fair catch back at the Maple Grove 12-yard line. Excuse me, Pelto on the return. 37-yard kick for Chia, and another fair catch for Pelto. So Maple Grove has it. They've got all of their timeouts remaining. 50 seconds left.
My guess is they're going to run the football here, see if they can get a big play out of it, use a timeout. Otherwise, if it gets stopped, might just be content heading into the locker room.
The give is to Hull. Hull gets out to the 20-yard line and picks up 8.
Did that look like a false start on TV?
Could have been.
It looked like the lineman for Maple Grove got started a little bit early. You can see Hull has a little bit of limp there too, and that's never good. And you can see Maple Grove, this is the same play they scored their touchdown on. You see 3 guys out pulling. They've had a lot of success running that same play, and Hull runs with a good patience, and then when he hits that hole after his blockers are engaged, that's when he becomes dangerous.
A second down and a yard to go or so for Maple Grove.
This is one where you might take a shot with a pass, because remember, if you get a first down, the clock stops until you get up there. And if nothing else, you're telling your quarterback, okay, if it's not there, you throw it away. And then it's 3rd and 1. We can still get the first down, but this would be a perfect down and distance to possibly take a shot down the field.
Second and 1 from the 20. 43 seconds to go in the half in a 7-7 game. They'll stay on the ground. Hull stutter stepping in the backfield and gets a first down out past the 20-yard line to the 22.
Well, the clock should stop, but it's continuing to run.
Right, it definitely should have stopped. It has continued to run. I think the officials have seen that now, and they're going to correct the time on the clock.
That's 12 seconds that went off. There should be 32 seconds left.
They'll get that communicated up here to the press box and how much time to put back on the clock. It's a first down for Maple Grove now at their 23-yard line.
You know, this might be a play too, John, where you run Evan Hall, but you add maybe some type of reverse or, you know, halfback pass, something like that, where you know all the attention's going to be on 26. Do you use him as a decoy? Do you use him as part of a reverse or maybe a halfback pass? This is a great time to pull something like that out if they have it in their arsenal.
They put 8 seconds back on the clock, so there's 29 seconds remaining now. And they give the ball to Hull, bobbled it a little bit to the 25, to the 30, and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, he's got to be careful too. I don't know if you know, he's swinging that arm when he's finishing the runs there.
Still picks up another 9 yards.
Yeah.
Didn't look like much, did it?
Did get out of bounds, so it does stop the clock. You know, with 17 seconds left, is this where you maybe take a shot?
Well, somewhere you got to get on like 70 yards here. 2 timeouts remaining, and 1 timeout remaining. If Matt Lombardi calls timeout, he wants to get the right play call.
Well, my point is, at 17 seconds, do you just say, "Hey, we're not going to score. Let's just down and get to halftime," or do you say to your young quarterback, "Hey, let's try to make something happen. Let's see that arm. Let's take a shot way downfield, and even if it is intercepted, it's probably the last play of the half, or if nothing else, it's going to be 40, 50 yards down the field." It's a delicate thing when you have a new starting quarterback, especially when they're young, because confidence is such a big deal. You want to put something on his play where he feels confident about, where he can see some completions and really start feeling confident out there. And if you have him throw it deep and it were to get picked off, then does that linger into halftime and carry on? So it's a really delicate thing when you're starting a young quarterback.
New quarterback and a new wide receivers.
Yep.
So it's Hull's back and a couple of the linemen, but there's not a lot of varsity experience that return for Maple Grove on this side of the ball, either side of the ball. Here we go. Here's the play action. Here's your play, Ryan. Helms going down the middle of the field, incomplete. Trying to hit Luke Raymond. He's the younger brother of Joe Raymond, the star of that St. Michael Albertville game in the playoffs a year ago.
I tell you, he had him, and that ball just missed too much to the center of the field. That's got to be over the top in the straight line. And if he puts that one close, that might have gone for 6. Great play call. Excellent play action. You can see Osseo, so much respect for Evan Hall that they're going to suck in every time. That's going to be there later in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that play later on in the game. Yeah, you can see they took their shot.
3rd down and 1 timeout remaining. Scanson moved. Hull gets the carry, and this will come back.
Had 2 guys moving at the same time, 2 guys in motion in the backfield.
7th penalty for Maple Grove here in the first half. All these little 5-yard penalties.
You know, part of that's expected too when you.
Penalty is on Maple Grove, 5-yard penalty, 3rd and 6.
Well, you're in there for that first game of the season. You're rusty, especially you got a new quarterback. Being a quarterback, everyone thinks it's just about throwing the football. A lot of it is just about your command of the offense, knowing where guys are supposed to be, when they're supposed to move, and a lot of that just comes with experience as well.
It's Evan Hull getting the carry, and he'll bring it out past the 35 as the half comes to an end. Well, we had a lot of punts in the first quarter. We had 2 long runs for touchdowns, and we've got a 7-7 tie here at halftime.
Yeah, if you take those 2 explosive plays that went for 7, really been kind of a sloppy game and kind of, offensively some penalties and, not too sharp. But I'll tell you what, if you're Osseo, you scored first, 7-7, you'll take that. I think Jake Kruder showed some confidence, showed some nice poise back there. And if you're Maple Grove, you got 26 still back there, and he's shown why many people think he's the best running back in the state of Minnesota.
7-7 score here at halftime. The wind, boy, has not died down at all in this one, Ryan. It's been a steady wind all night, which I think has definitely affected the passing game more so. Well, and the kicking game a little bit, but the passing game, I've seen
it hasn't affected the punting game.
No,
the punts have been phenomenal.
Like it, right?
Yeah, and again, I would not be surprised to see Nate Elms with that play action again that they ran right before the halftime, because it was open and he threw a nice ball, just missed him a little bit.
Let's go down to the sideline now. Allie Arnold standing by with head coach Matt Lombardi.
Coach, the punts aren't looking bad.
No,
but what are you thinking of those offensive stances that keep pushing you towards the punt?
Boy, we've made a lot of mistakes, but we're young. Had guys wide open in the past, and our quarterback's very nervous right now. So we're going to try to settle him down. But hey, it's a fun game. It's 7-7. But man, it's hard to watch.
You guys had a red zone opportunity, 2nd and 3. You pull Hall. You guys force or get a fumble. What happened there?
He can't carry it 109 times a game. I mean, that's not fair to the kids. So we got to find some depth at that position so he can hold up. I think he already has about 18 carries this half, so that's too many for him. But like I said, we got to find people we have faith in.
Any way to clean up these penalties, or is this just the way the first game goes?
No, they should be better than this. But like I said, we're fortunate it's 7-7. I think we have 3 turnovers and 109 penalties, so we set a record for incompetence, I think, that half. But at least, hey, we're still in it. We got to become a lot better. But like I said, the mistakes are tough to watch.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
You might want to see a better second half, is what I got out of that.
Well, 109 carries and 109 penalties.
Right.
Yeah, you love the humor, but he's exactly right. And he knows it, and at least he's got a little humor about it. He's going to go settle those guys down, and that's half of it, right? First start for a lot of these players, settle down, get out there, and go make plays. Just play football. It's what you've been doing your whole life.
So you got the football team first game. You get the first game for the dance team. The cheerleaders are here. The marching band's getting ready to take the field. It's always fun on opening night of football, right?
That's what's great about high school sports in general is you get the whole school. You get the band, you get dance, you get cheerleaders, you get football. You get everyone out there, and it just brings everyone together, brings the communities together, and it's a lot of fun. There's nothing like high school football. You know, when I went on to play college football, there's nothing like playing for your school and your city and your teachers and your friends. It's just nothing beats high school football.
Yeah,
except for maybe
players.
Fourth grade football right there.
7-7 our score, Maple Grove Osseo. We'll take a break, come back, some highlights. We'll get some marching band and more. We continue with our coverage. Opening night, high school football 2018 on CCX. We're back in a moment.
First time I tried Vicodin, it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Get us some burgers. Ryan, go get us some burgers here.
Oh, that would interrupt our weightlifting, our CCX weightlifting program that we're doing.
It looks pretty good, doesn't it? We are at halftime here tonight. Osseo and Maple Grove all tied up at 7. There's some youth football players out on the field now for Osseo. Let's look at some first half highlights of this one. Really two big offensive plays and a lot of defense. So Evan Hull had his share of runs outside of his touchdown. That one went for 24 yards, his second longest run of the game. And all, he did have 18 rushes for 200 yards in that first half.
That's not a bad 3-game stretch, much less to do in the first half.
Here's the big play offensively for Osseo. Hitchcock going for 75 yards and the score. He's got 99 yards rushing today on 10 carries. Big chunk of it coming there to give Osseo a 7-0 lead. Next series is 2 plays later. Evan Hull bursts outside. He goes for the score, 70 yards for Maple Grove touchdown. That made it 7-7 with 10:39 to go in the second quarter. And that's all we had for scoring. Defense, another turnover for Osseo. They had for Maple Grove rather. They had a fumble and an interception there by Elms that was picked off by Ferguson. As we look at our stats, so Maple Grove with 190 yards rushing, 200 for Hull, minus 10 for everybody else. No passing yards so far. 5 first downs. 5 first downs for Osseo as well. They've got the rush and the pass, 128 yards total so far in the game. We will go to break at halftime here. Look at the scores around the area tonight. Duchino Grace, 14-7, and leader in the first half against Creighton-Durham Hall in a much anticipated matchup. Armstrong on the road. They're losing at Chanhassen 21-7. Wayzata leading Rosemont. Eden Prairie up at halftime on Eastview, defending state champion Lakeville South, and Edina scoreless. Moundsview and St. Michael Albertville, the Knights up 14-7, and Roseville leading Anoka 7-0. Some of the 6A football going on across the metro tonight. A little punt, pass, and kick here at halftime for the Osseo youth players. They get to show off their stuff, and you want to throw with the wind tonight, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're Maple Grove, you just want to throw, period. It doesn't matter if you're with or against the wind, but I'll tell you, when you're a youth football player, you get to go out on the varsity field, especially in this rivalry kind of game. It's a highlight. I still remember being a 3rd and 4th grader going out on the varsity field. So it's a fun thing for these youth kids, and love to see them out there having fun.
I want to mention that we don't have them on camera at all. Ryan and I just had a chance to say hello to Brad Davison, the former football and basketball star at Maple Grove, now entering his 2nd year at Wisconsin-Madison. There he is here. He had football in his hand. I took off my headset briefly. He said, just give me one more play. I told him to get back out there. I know he misses football as much as he loves basketball, and a great basketball player. What a terrific freshman year, playing through a lot of injuries. Wasn't the team success that Wisconsin's used to having, but they've got some young players led by Brad, and I'm sure better things ahead this year for the Badgers.
I just told him too, and I mean this. There's a lot of people that would have sat out that whole year with what he had going on with his shoulder, and he toughed it out. And you could tell. Games we watch, he'd dislocate it, it'd come out, he'd go to the locker room, and he'd come right back wearing that big brace, and he's an old school type of athlete in that he's all about his team, he's all about competing, and proud to have covered a lot of his games. And I told him we got a lot of people around here that cheer for him and watching him, trying to get CCX to let you and I go out to Madison and do a story on it. So during the basketball
CCX ticket,
season.
go down to Madison, yeah.
Come on, CCX.
I'll work on that. We will take a break as Brad works the crowd here at halftime. 7-7, the Orioles and the Crimson. More high school football from Osseo High School after this timeout.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
John Jacobson, Ryan Iverson, Natalie Arlton, all of our crew here on CCX opening night of football 2018. 7-7 tie, 2 long touchdown runs by Hitchcock and Hull, and nearly back-to-back plays, back-to-back series certainly. As we heard what Coach Lombardi had to say at halftime, and certainly some, you expect this from any head coach, certainly some things to clean up for both of these teams. You work through these first game jitters and inexperience.
Yep.
Let's go down before your thoughts, Ryan. Let's go down to Allie, who's standing by with Ryan Stockhouse.
Coach, how'd you like your containment of Hull in that first half?
Well, you know, I think we're doing a pretty good job. I still think we're giving up too much. We're touching him in the backfield, and he's elusive, and he's a heck of a back, and he's scrappy, and he gets free. So we just got to continue to work to get our heads to the ball, and we got to do a better job of taking him down when we touch him in the backfield.
Offensively, huge 75-yard run, but what do you guys need to do to spark some more and put this away in the second?
You know, I think it's little things. You know, they're blitz heavy, they're aggressive up front. I think we can expose that, but we've just got to make sure we stay on assignments. We can't put the ball on the ground like we did. That was costly right there. But we want to sustain drives. We want to try to get to the edge a little bit and see our athletes run, but we're going to stick to that inside tackle stuff too. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thanks to both coaches for taking a few moments with us. You know, he was right in his first comment. They did have some contact on Hull in the backfield. Some of that's on them being able to tackle. Some of that's on Hull just being that strong and being able to break through tackles.
I'll tell you what, I thought both head coaches were spot on in what they said. You know, Coach Lombardi talking about turnovers, talking about we got to have somebody else step up, and Coach Stockhouse talking about, hey, we had angles. We just got to do a better job of tackling them. And the other thing that stuck out that he said was we got to get our athletes the ball out in space, and I really do. I believe that. I think Reggie Dupree's got to make some type of explosive play in the second half, whether that's in the passing game, running jet sweep, just getting him outside where he can use his athleticism is going to be critical. And the other thing Coach said is, you know, with they're bringing their blitzing, you can expose that. And what he meant by that is if you pick your assignment up the right way and you get to that second level, a lot of times you're gone. You have the opportunity to turn a big play in. So, and on Maple Grove side, you know, 0 passing yards, that number's got to obviously be higher than that. They got to have a little bit of balance, like Coach said, to take some of that pressure off of Evan Hull. And the other thing was 7 penalties. You need to see that down to 1 or 2 here in the second half. And I think it's getting windier, too.
Yeah, it has not. I thought maybe sometimes when it gets after sunset, you get a little bit of a dip in the wind. That has not happened. It has picked up. Very strong winds tonight. And relatively cool evening for August 30th. Temperature in the 70s.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that Coach Stockhouse said is, hey, we did a pretty good job containing Evan Hall. And that's a sign of a really good player, too, when you've done a pretty good job on him, but he still's got 200 yards at halftime, right? But even if you take that big runaway that he had for the touchdown, nothing huge, but 8 yards, 10 yards, 24 yards, 12 yards, 7 yards, right? All that adds up. And to his point, if they get contact on him, they got to be able to hold on to him and make that tackle in the backfield or at that first level.
Maple Grove will get the ball to start the second half. We'll see each of these teams again on CCX during the regular season. Osseo against Champlin Park in mid-September, and Maple Grove against Lakeville North in early October.
Yep. Lakeville North is going to have a good group of athletes again this year.
Opening night of the season for Gopher football tonight. I know my son's down there.
Good start. They were up 38-10 the last that I heard. And Gopher fans excited, and hopefully we can see that come to fruition. Starting a young quarterback as well. And, you think about Osseo and Maple Grove, kind of unknown, right? We're not sure of what their identity. I think Osseo with their running backs knew, that was their strength, but quarterback play, and I think Jake Kruder's done a nice job of answering that. And Maple Grove knew you had Evan Hall, but how was starting a young quarterback and Nate Elm's going to be? And so it's kind of a feeling out process. Well, now that part is over with. Now you had a chance, take some deep breaths at halftime, come out, play football, and let's execute.
Tablets on the second half kickoff. It'll come up short and be returned by Skansen to the 31-yard line. And so that's where the Crimson will start the second half.
Tony Jackson, just number 6, so just a lightning ball came in there and tripped him up. I'll tell you what, special teams play has been really strong on both sides of the football, whether it's kicking, punting, punt return, punt coverage, kick return. Everything's been really sharp. That's one area I think both coaches would be pretty happy with.
First and 10, Maple Grove, starting the second half from across their 30-yard line. And the handoff on first down goes to Hull, who gets a couple of yards out to the 33-yard line on his 19th carry of the game.
Well, in that type, Joey Chia wrapped him up at contact and brought him down. That's exactly what Coach Stockhouse talked about. Yeah. You get contact on him, you have to bring him down. And I'll tell you what, right now, Joe Chia has really played a great game on defense. He's had a couple of catches on offense, had some good punts as well. So he's really had an impact on this game. That was a nice tackle on first down.
Second down and 8 from the 33. Give to Skansen, the fullback, and his first carry tonight brings it out to the 39. Nice pickup for him. Gain of 6.
I'll tell you, having that threat of a fullback, especially like Skansen, who's 5'11", 215 pounds, so he's a big bruiser, but just having that threat of running that dive or that trap up the middle, it keeps the defense honest. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a fake to that and then going to Evan Hall, but just running that, every 4 to 6 times just to keep that defense honest, I think is really, really important.
Third down, a little over 2 to go for first, and they give it to Hull's got a first down right up the middle across the 50 and into Osseo territory at the 47-yard line.
How about number 62, Joel Johnson, 15, 20 yards down the field, staying with his block. He was out in front of Evan Hall there when he finished that run. That's what you love to see. You love to see your lineman finishing that block. Nice job by 62, Joel Johnson.
Gain of 14 to the 47-yard line of Osseo. 20 carries, 216 yards, and a touchdown for Evan Hall.
Well, what did Coach say? He's going to have 109 carries by the end of the game.
Play action, Elms to throw down the middle and incomplete. Overthrew his intended receiver, Raymond.
Oh, I like the call again. Nice play action. And just a little nervous energy, right? Just nowhere close. He's missed his throws to the center of the field. And part of that, I think, is you're fearful of turning the ball over. You're fearful of an interception, so you're throwing away from that defense, but you're also throwing away from that receiver. You know, and that, again, that comes with experience. It comes with just taking a deep breath, relaxing. You got to give your receiver a chance to make the play.
2nd and 10 from the 47. They'll go back to Hull. He'll take 3 or 4 Osseo guys with him before they finally turn him sideways and bring him down.
Well, that's a good example. Number 50, Connor Wayne. He's an inside linebacker. He had a chance to make that tackle at the line of scrimmage. And that's what Coach was talking about. And Evan Hall keeps those legs going. He drives forward and he gets 5.5 yards out of that. So now you're in a 3rd down and manageable on a short field. So you're probably in 2, 3rd and 4th down situation here. So that's a big play, a big 5-yard gain. It's not going to show much in the stat book, but that play matters.
Opening drive of the second half here for Maple Grove. A give to Hull again inside the 40 to the 39, where he's tackled by Barfi Syrian.
Well, Syrian did a nice job of pursuit on that. Wrapped him up and brought him down, and going to be short of the 1st down. That was a very nice defensive play.
4th and 2. And Maple Grove will indeed go for it here.
Well, let's see if they go to a hard snap count, right? We saw Osseo doing a nice job of that in the 1st half. If you're Maple Grove, can you be disciplined enough? Try to draw Osseo off sides. If not, I'm sure you can imagine that 2-6 is going to be touching this ball.
Hull gets the
nice
carry,
play.
but it's who's there? Joe Chia makes the stop, and Osseo turns Maple Grove over on down.
He's been the one guy that's been able to get contact and watch him wrap up. Look at this burst into the line, and a nice job. He got low and he grabbed those knees. Excellent play by Chia. There's not too many times where Evan Hall can't get you 2 yards. A nice job by 11 there, getting into the backfield. That's the key. You get in the backfield, you hit them early, and you wrap them up. Exactly what Coach Stockhouse said at halftime they need to start doing, and they did it on that drive.
Chio's hardly left the field today.
Yep.
Ryan lines up at tight end, although out wide here on offense. And as we mentioned, he's been their punter tonight too, and has done a great job at that. So 1st down and 10 for Osseo. They'll start this drive from their 40, and Dupree loses yardage on his first carry of the second half. Thomas Kamsula on the tackle.
Well, him and Strelo have done a nice job of tackling, and again, just nowhere to go. Great job setting that edge. I want to give a lot of credit to on that play, even though he didn't make the tackle. I think it was number 55, I couldn't tell, it was Zoga. Just set that edge. There's just nowhere to go for Reggie Dupree. And again, if you can limit him and not let him get in space where he can use that quickness.
Dupree will get the carry again, and he'll bring it across the 40, the 43, a little more positive yardage that time for the senior back. And still, though, a 3rd and over 5 to go. It's like 6 for the Orioles here.
And really the first time we got to see his quickness, right? That explosion to go north and south. Just hasn't had a whole lot of room. If I'm Osseo, I'm thinking of ways of getting him in, whether it's a quick screen, a bubble screen out wide, or, a motion sweep, just get him outside where he can really turn on that speed. He just has not been able to get to that.
On 3rd down, they'll pitch it to Dupree, trying to get wide, and he's brought down from behind. It's Gavin Pelto, the senior safety, coming up and making the tackle.
Well, that's not an easy thing to catch Dupree here. Just a great speed and not quitting on the play. You see, he tried to wrap up high, couldn't get it, and he dove at the legs. And just an excellent play. Great pursuit. That's what you need out of, whether your linebackers or your safeties, is coming in like that, being sure tacklers. I love the play call too by Osseo. That time you could tell that series they made a conscientious decision to try to get Dupree the ball out in space, but a nice job of Maple Grove making tackles.
Chia will punt, but first the gunner on the left side started downfield. This will be just the second penalty tonight in Osseo. Winding down toward halfway to go here in the third quarter as Chia, another good leg into it, a lot of contact there. There'll be another Osseo penalty. Scanson was hit with no chance to catch that ball. And he is not getting up, at least immediately. A little slow to get up.
And I don't think he had a fair catch, did he? But either way, I mean, you can't have you got to allow the punt returner to have a chance to catch that. And you can see there's contact well before that ball landed. You know, and that's a scary thing. That's what's scary about being a punt returner is you're very vulnerable to the people coming.
A back-to-back penalties for Osseo.
Well, that's going to be a 15-yarder, so that's going to give them some pretty good field position at about the 46-yard line.
First and 10 for the Crimson out near midfield, as Ryan mentioned, after that penalty. Their second try with the football here in the second half. They try to break this 7-7 tie. Elmas rolls out, and now he'll keep the ball.
Nice.
And he'll pick up a first down.
Great play, great decision. I think in the first half he would have tried to force a throw. That time had patience, was comforted, didn't see anything that he felt comfortable with. Again, rolling to his left. You know, instead of trying to force something there, tucks it in and runs and makes a positive play and gets about 5 to 6 yards on that.
Yeah,
so.
He didn't get the first down. He did go out, but he does pick up 5.
But that's a start, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you got to look at this. And that's excellent. If you're a Maple Grove fan and you're watching at home right now, there's nothing to be discouraged about. You can tell he's got the big arm. This is just learning steps. Even when Brad Davison first started, there was growing pains, right? And you gotta walk before you can run.
There's Scanson, the fullback, getting his second carry of the half. He'll pick up close to 5. It'll be shy of the first down, but not by much. It'll be third and less than a yard. Third down, and they mark it back to the 45. So it's 2 full yards to go here for the first for the Crimson. Hole in the backfield along with Scanson.
Ooh.
Left tackle might have moved.
I think it was Jacob Engel, the tight end, number 13. They went with a hard count, which is a great idea, trying to get Osseo to jump, but that's where you have to be disciplined yourself. And again, third and short, we saw it earlier in the game in the first half, 4th down and 1, and they had that false start. So again, 5-yard penalty, that moves them back. That's a big difference being 3rd and 2 versus 3rd and 7.
Now 4th and 7, Ryan, back from midfield. And again, or 3rd and 7. It changes the play call. We saw it in the first half on a couple of drives where these second or third down penalties just kind of change the possession, or potentially can. And
when you're really dependent on Evan Hall, now the defense can really key on that. And if not, here they're putting your quarterback.
Elms hit as he throws, but gets the completion inside the 40, down to the 38 and a first down for Maple Grove. A G-man who was targeted once in the first half comes up with the catch, and there's the first completion for Nate Elms.
Watch Elms take the hit. I mean, he got hit before he even released that, and he put it right on the money. So showing that ability to throw on the move, and then also you love toughness, right? You see that young sophomore taking a big hit like that, big first down. You couldn't ask for a bigger play for a young quarterback.
We'll go back to the running game. Hull sidesteps a tackler, and he's gone. Evan Hull's going to go for the touchdown.
What footwork, John, there at the line of scrimmage. It looked like he was skiing. Just great lateral footwork, makes 2-3 guys miss, and then has the acceleration to turn it on. That was an amazing run by Evan Hall.
37-yard touchdown run for Hall, and Maple Grove was in the lead.
Right there, and then the cut. I mean, just 2 great moves. He made 2 guys miss before he got to the line of scrimmage. And great blocking. You can see his fullback down there, Scanson, blocking downfield. And you can't miss a guy like Evan Hall in the backfield or he's going to make you pay, and he certainly did there.
Extra point by Strelo hits the upright, no good. So it remains 13-7 Maple Grove, but they do have their first lead of the night.
I'll tell you what, obviously Evan Hall, an unbelievable 37-yard touchdown run. But how about on third down? Nate Elm stepping up, rolling out, hadn't completed a pass ever as a varsity quarterback, on the move, takes a big hit and completes it down the field. I thought that play, not only for his confidence, but I think the confidence in the rest of the offense. Like, all right, guys, we got it. We can do this, and it results in a big touchdown run. I can't stress the importance of that third down throw.
Updated total on Hull, 24 carries, 262 yards, and now 2 scores.
That's okay.
It's not quite 12 yards a carry, but it is over 10.
And doing it, I think, against a good defense too, right? And against some good athletes, and that's the thing. I mean, you watch some of these 9-man and 1A schools where they're, the kids will get 400 or 500 yards rushing. I mean, we saw Evan Hall, have a lot of yards against Eden Prairie last. It doesn't matter who he's playing against. He's a remarkable running back, and Coach Stockhouse said if we get contact on him, we got to bring him down. And just great footwork and leg strength there on the line of scrimmage to get into that second level, and then to also have the speed to finish it. Really well done.
Strelo's kick handled at the 12-yard line, and a tackle downfield on Dupree was the returner. But Gibson gets downfield, number 7, there you see him, makes the tackle on special teams for the Crimson.
Well, Osseo, in the young season, now it's your turn to respond, right? They scored first, and Maple Grove was able to respond, and now Osseo needs a big play. I like what they're doing on offense. I like Kruder. I like the balance that they've shown, and they need to come back here and sustain a drive, put a couple first downs together. And remember, there was a missed extra point, so if you score, you probably have the advantage here.
Jake Kruder under center, first down and 10. He'll hand off. And there's not much doing for Hitchcock in the middle of that defense. Hit by Kamsla along with Zoga. And it's a gain of 2.
What I like there is Kamsla, number 34. He came on the right side of the line of scrimmage, came on a blitz, and that ball was up the middle, but he never quit. He kept running down the line, and as soon as there was a little bit of contact, he wrapped up and got that tackle. So those linebackers, they're blitzing, but they don't quit. They come on down the line and continue to make tackles.
Second down and 8 from the 27. Kruder throwing, hit as he threw, incomplete. Ansa covering Jake Hill. That's third down.
Yeah, it looked like he got it off before he was hit, but he never got his feet set. He was throwing off his back foot, so he never got any strength or able to really step into that throw. And when you watch NFL games and you hear guys talk about footwork, you never really know what that means. But if a quarterback, especially at a high school level where they don't have that strength yet, they got to plant their feet, get that footwork correct first. And that time, Kruder able to throw off his back foot, and I think that impacted the strength of it.
Third down and 8. They go the reverse here. Here comes Hill trying to find some room. And only gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard or 2 more. Cooper Whitescheid able to run him down.
I love the play call by Osseo, getting a little trickery, trying to get outside, and you could tell it looked like Jake Hill wanted to throw that ball, but Maple Grove, nice job staying home, nothing deep, and then a nice job too by Whitescheid there to stay home and have contained. But I love that play call by the Orioles.
Well, Osseo forced into another punt here as we come down to 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Chia's kick, another strong kick. This will go sideways and out of bounds down at the 31-yard line. 41-yard kick with no return.
I'll tell you, Chia's been consistent as heck on the punting, hasn't he, John?
Yeah.
It's hard to get a good feel for which way the wind is blowing, but it seems like it doesn't matter if he's into the wind or against the wind or with the wind. He's been really consistent on his punts.
So Maple Grove with the football, playing with the lead for the first time tonight. 2:52 remaining here in the third quarter. They're up 13-7.
Well, what you don't want to get into, too, when you play Maple Grove is you don't want to be trailing when they can start taking the clock off, because they are so dominant with their running game. They're going to run that clock, and you know Evan Hall can get you 4, 5, 6 yards pretty consistently, and they have that ability very much like Eden Prairie does, where they can do an 80, 90-yard drive all on the ground and really take a whole quarter of time of possession away from you. So if you're Osseo right now, I think you really got to win first down. Let's see if you can get a loss here. Force Maple Grove into some passing situations where you got a young quarterback who maybe you can hurry into a bad throw, or you got to try to get a takeaway somehow, some way. See if you can get your offense a short field and get the momentum back.
And a penalty at the end of that play, so they got pushed back to inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Here comes Hull. There goes Hull, left side, out across the 40, and knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line, but not until he had picked up, Ryan, another 25 yards.
Yeah, I think as good as he is between the tackles, John, I almost think he's even better outside. I mean, he's got such great speed, and he's got that patience at the beginning of the run. He doesn't hit the hole until he knows where it is. And that time, seeing it, letting it develop, gets to the outside. And I'll tell you, I've been really impressed with his speed this year. I think he looks even faster than he did last year.
We get the call again, and he gets tackled up high. And guess who's on the stop? Joe Chia.
Yeah, he's been great tonight. I'll tell you what, he's been a highlight for the Orioles. Getting by his guy, he's been the one guy consistently in that backfield. And I'll tell you, not only that, but when he does make contact with Evan Hall, he's bringing him down. So Joe Chia's had an excellent game. As good as he's been on defense, he might be even better as a punter. He's just been remarkable tonight. You know, this is where a play action, right? This is where maybe taking another shot down the field, or at least getting your quarterback out and using Evan Hall as a decoy.
Elms throwing and gets a short completion to the 45, pickup of 4. Max Hoyt with his first catch of the night and of the season.
And not a big throw, obviously not a lot of yards, but a safe throw, an easy throw. And now all of a sudden, Nate Elms has completed 2 passes in a row and has a little bit of confidence. We saw him have a run in the last possession, and so he's starting to feel confident. And I'll tell you, it's crazy, John, how important confidence is, right? And you see it all the time, especially in sports. When you believe you can do something, that's a lot of times when you start doing it. And the only way you gain confidence is through experience and success. And right now, Nate Elms, 2 completions in a row.
3rd and 7. Hull is hit, got to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. And Maple Grove will be forced to punt. Good defense there.
Great defense, nice stand, gang tackling. I'll tell you, they met a black wall that time, and Evan Hall, nice job. You can see when he knew he wasn't going to get any further, he wrapped up 2 arms on that ball. That's another thing the good running backs always do. They don't turn that ball over. But a nice job by Osseo to get a stop here, get the ball back. Now they just got to get something going on offense.
Weary had 3 punts early in the game, but none since. Also time.
Yeah. When they called the timeout, at the very top of the screen, number 2, a Jaiman was uncovered, and it would have been an easy pass, fake punt pass. So Osseo recognized that, and they couldn't get anyone to rotate up there, so they have to use a timeout. And when anytime you're in a close game and it's going to come down, you want to save all the timeouts you can possibly get. So that could come back to haunt them.
Well, hope you've enjoyed tonight's game here on CCX. You're watching at home or watching on the web, coast to coast, right, Ryan? California to New York, Texas to Michigan, maybe, and tuning into the game.
Anytime we have Maple Grove on,
right.
you know,
People are watching
Thailand,
from all over.
Could be watching,
right.
So absolutely. But yeah, it's good to be back. I know a lot of people excited about high school football, college football, NFL right around the corner. And parents everywhere excited for their little kids to go back to school so they can have some sanity again. I know that feeling.
Is your wife excited? Ball dropped by Weir. He picks it up and just got it away ahead of Chia's rush. Field of 25 and returned just across the 30 by Hill before he's brought down.
Well, that was dropped. I don't know how Chia missed that one. He was there time-wise. It almost looked like the ball went through his arms because it looked like he was going to get that block.
Look at it again. Oh, he just missed it.
You know, and that's the thing, you know, it sounds elementary, like how do you not block a punt? But unless you practice that, it can be tricky, and sometimes it can be painful. A lot of times you get the ball into your stomach and can have the wind knocked out of you, so it's not an easy thing to do. Even though he was there time-wise, he just missed it with his arms.
Hitchcock on the first down carry, and not a lot going. Archie Zoga.
So one thing you watch in that, right, that kind of that read option look, I haven't seen Kruder keep that ball yet this whole game, and that's, I think Maple Grove is recognized that, and they're teeing off on that running back. I think if you're Kruder at least once or twice here, I'd want to keep that just to keep that defense honest.
And that will be the end of the third quarter. Maple Grove scores the only points in the third on a touchdown run by Evan Hull. It's Maple Grove 13, Osseo 7. More high school football on CCX Sports after this timeout.
Mrs. and Mrs. Jimmy at the debut. I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
Not lighters, but you get the same effect with the flashlight on the cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Fun night for the high school kids tonight. Sweatshirt weather for some ones. I brought a jacket along. I don't have it on, but with that wind, it's a little cool out tonight.
Yeah, normally, like I said, at this time of year, these first games are usually pretty hot, and you see a lot of water, and you're worried about heat. But definitely this year, the last week or so, it's been definitely cooler.
Kruder throws to Dupree, gets him out space, and he carries it out on the reception out to the 44-yard line. That had a chance to be a big play. It was 8+ yards as it was.
Yeah, and that's the first time they were able to quick throw like that, and you get your playmaker the chance to make a play. And it wasn't nothing big, but he got 9 yards out of it, so that was a nice play call. I'd look to go back to that as often as I could.
3rd and 1 from the 44. Fakes the throw, ball is tipped at the line and incomplete.
Love the play call that time. Nice job by the defensive lineman. It was hard to see who got that. I'm not sure if it was Kruger or if it was Zoga.
Yeah,
Zoga. But I'll tell you, I mean, that's a high-level play as a defensive lineman. When you know you don't have time to get a rush on the quarterback, get your hands up, and he's able to knock that down. Because if he didn't, the play worked. You could see the linebackers were coming, and there was space there on that second level. So a nice job by Zoga there knocking that down.
Enough time on the clock where Osseo and in their own territory, they're not going to go for it. They'll send Chia back to punt again. Oh, look at it.
Yeah.
Snap to the up man, and Maple Grove is ready for it. So it was a fake punt. And Hitchcock
dropped it.
Got it, but yeah, couldn't hang on to the ball and lost yardage. And Maple Grove does take over on down. So
he was going to get that, John, and run to the right here. You can see all the blockers, but he dropped it, and at that point had to go left. And a nice job by Zoga there at home. And I like the aggressiveness. If you're going to go for it, though, sometimes don't you wonder why you don't just keep your offense out there and try to get that yard? But I like the aggressiveness. I like the fake call. You just got to execute on something like that. You can't drop that. So Maple Grove going to get some really good field position here.
1st and 10 from the 38 of Osseo. They'll go back to Hull. And he breaks through some tackles. Still on his feet to the 30. Wow. The pile pushed all the way to the 26-yard line. Gain of 2 turns into a gain of 12 for Evan Hull.
Wow. That was like a rugby pile that just kept moving forward. I thought he was down right there at the line of scrimmage. And then again right there at the 33. He just keeps going forward. And then you get those linemen and it becomes a battle of strength. Who can push who? And you see they're fired up. Fullback Scanson's fired up. And that's how you get your offensive line fired up with a play like that.
1st and 10 from the 26. They'll go back to number 26 again. Evan Hull's got some room to the 20, to the 15, and pushed out of bounds there. Another Crimson first down. Tackled by Rick Grant.
Nice job blocking the edge that time and allowing Hull to get to the outside, and he's just so smooth. It looks like I think there's a flag on the play. Are they going to get right there, a block in the back? I think they're going to get number 10, Abed, with a block in the back. I'm trying to read lips. I think they said number 2.
I thought they said number 2, yeah.
Yeah, Jaimin.
So that wipes out the run.
Let's see if we can see on the bottom of our screen where that. I thought, if anything, they were going to get a block in the back right there. But that wasn't the call.
Achievement right there.
But remember, it's from where that is. So it's still 1st and 10. It just negates, obviously, the gain. But if you're wondering why it's not 1st and 20 after something like that, it's a spot foul.
Maple Grove will use timeout, their first charge timeout here in the second half. Got just under 11 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. It's Maple Grove 13, Osseo 7. Crimson have won the last 2 years in this rivalry battle, which has been now traditionally the first game of the season for several years now. On the night, Hull with 28 carries. Let's go down to Allie Art now for another report.
Hey guys, on the second practice of the year, Coach Stockhouse brought in a sergeant from the Marines, and he brought some of his crew, and they had the Orioles run through a bunch of really intense drills out on the field. Coach said that this was just a great way to teach the team how to push past their limits of being comfortable and kind of experience it, making it through those tough drills all together as a team. Stockhouse said that there were moments when he thought that some of the guys on the team would give up, but every single guy made it through. He said it was a great teaching moment of teaching them through toughness and some leadership. Even cooler, those Marines were here tonight. They gave the team a pep talk before the game.
Even had a drill sergeant for part of it. I'm sure that was not easy. Evan Hull gets the carry and brings it inside the 20-yard line for Maple Grove.
Well, I love that story, and I love the toughness, and that's the thing about football. You're forced to be there. If you want to quit, you don't quit because your brother's next to you and your teammates next to you, and that shares a very similar characteristic of our military, and you love to hear that. I just think it's funny when Coach Lombardi said we can't have Evan Hull run that much, and he's already got 29 carries, and he seems like he's getting stronger and faster as the game has gone on.
296 carries, or 296 yards rushing tonight. Not 296 carries, that would be a lot.
That would set a record.
Scanson gets the carry here and picks up the first down, the fullback with his 3rd carry tonight.
And part of the reason I think Evan Hull has gotten even better here in the second half is they've had a little bit more balance. You know, not a lot, but Elm's just a couple of passes, but just the threat that he's able to complete that. And they've also added in Scanson on a couple of fullback dives. And if you can just throw the defense off a little bit, that's all Evan Hall needs to get a better angle or get a little bit more speed going.
See if he'll get over 300 yards tonight, and he could do it here. From the 13-yard line to the end zone, laying that football out. They're gonna mark him shy, like half a yard shy of a touchdown.
He got that football out. Let's watch this. Again, watch how shifty. Right there and right there. It makes another guy miss at the 5-yard line. He got that ball out, but watch his knee and his elbow clearly down before he gets across that end zone. Oh, look at how hard
and
that.
In for the touchdown.
Gets
on
right.
his 30th carry, 307 yards and 3 scores.
Wow, great credit to that offensive line. Ben Bristol, Weston Dobler, Joe Bulow, Joel Johnson, and Alex Carlson, and Tyler Weens just doing great work up front. And I know Evan Hall gets a lot of the credit because he's phenomenal, but none of it happens without those big guys up front. And that's something even in youth football I talk to all the time. You know, it's a team game, and we all have to do our job. Some people get a little bit more credit, but, man, we all got to rely on each other.
They'll go for 2 after the missed extra point the last time. Roll out here for Elms. Now he'll tuck it down, trying to run,
nice.
and gets in for the 2 points.
You want to know
the defender head on and got in for the score.
You want to know how you build confidence with your teammates as a young quarterback? You do a play like that. Instead of going out of bounds or being soft, he lowered that shoulder and he finished that run, got his team 2 points. That's how you get buy-in when you're a young quarterback, trying to earn the trust of your teammates. I guess there might have been a little talking after that happened.
Sportsmanlike on Maple Grove. That'll be assessed on the kickoff.
I'll tell you, Osseo did a nice job of recognizing this bootleg, and then watch him get out to the coverage. And right about here, it did not look very promising, but right there, he lowers that shoulder and he gets it, and you can see they're fired up. See his fullbacks fired up, letting his quarterback know that they appreciate that kind of toughness. Look at all the linemen coming over. You know, again, when you're young, and I'm someone who played as a sophomore too, you're nervous, and you don't feel like, you know, these older guys you want them to trust you and like you and believe in you and play like that. That's how you do it.
Who was your first start against as the quarterback? Remember what team he played?
It was Bloomington Kennedy. Okay, so maybe that wasn't that intimidating, but.
Now we get the penalty marked off.
But you know, the other thing that people don't think about, when you're a sophomore starting at quarterback, he's playing with all new guys. He's grown up his whole life playing with his own grade, and all of a sudden now you're with different guys that you didn't grow up with. Obviously you know, and you've practiced with them and you've gotten to know them, but you know, you're trying to prove yourself, and sometimes when you want to prove something, you get out of characteristic. You start doing things that aren't you because you're trying too hard. And I'll tell you, I've been impressed here in the second half. I think the play calling's been great, but I also think Nate Elms has settled down and just made a couple of nice football plays. And you can see his team is starting to feed off that as well. And, oh, yeah, it doesn't hurt when you have 26 behind you, too, to take some of that pressure off.
Now the kick from back of the 25 will give Osseo some good field position here. Running to the outside of midfield to Sheldon Robinson, deep into Maple Grove territory. Inside their 40 to the 37.
Showing some nice speed here. Really one of the first times all night that Osseo's been able to get to the outside. And again, they got some great athletes, and really Robinson is as fast as any of them. And nice gain and a little bit of momentum now. And Osseo's at a point, you know, especially in the fourth quarter, they're going to have to make something happen on offense. They're going to have to get a score on this possession.
A late hit on Osseo, I think, on that tackle out of bounds by Pelto, yeah? On Maple Grove, yeah.
Oh, that's excellent field position. They're going to get the ball about the 21-yard line, maybe the 22-yard line. So an excellent chance here to score, and not only score, John, but score quickly without taking too much time off the clock. So big return and a costly penalty, which has plagued Maple Grove all night long.
11 penalties for 80 yards now on the Crimson. 1st and 10 from the 22. They'll give to Hitchcock, and he'll spin and fumbles the football. And Maple Grove has it, unless they're going to rule him down. And it looks like that might be the case. Pelto came up with the football. Now they're going to talk about it.
It looked like he was down, didn't it, John? It looked like that ball came loose.
No.
They're going to give it to Maple Grove.
Right. Look at it again. Hitchcock on the carry.
Oh, no, it's
definitely
loose.
coming loose.
Yeah,
excellent
the angle.
call.
Yeah, the angle we had up here, it looked like his elbow was down, but you could see that ball was definitely loose on his way down. And I'll tell you what, normally the referees and the officials don't get a lot of compliments. That time they didn't react right away. They talked it over and they got it right. And an excellent job and a costly turnover after a great field position and a penalty. And then to follow that up with a turnover, that's very deflating for the Osseo Orioles.
Hull will get the call as Maple Grove starts this series at the 20, and Hull has them past the 40 and 1 carry. There is flag now, but this will come back. So a couple of runs called back because of penalty, and this will be one of them.
See that hold there. You know, as a running back, when you've had about 30 carries for, I don't know how many yards, 300 yards or so.
307.
307, yeah. I mean, that's deflating to run, another 30 yards, and that great effort has to be negated because of a penalty.
I think what Coach Lombardi said at halftime, though, is right. You can't have him carry the ball 30 times week after week. You're going to have to develop some depth in there. Somebody's going to be able to give him a blow at that tailback position.
And I think Herbert Fisk was going to be that guy, but he had that fumble in the first half, and I think he's going to have to earn that trust back, especially in a game like this where it's not decided yet. It's still a very, close game, and I think he's going to go with who he trusts. And
another penalty for Maple Grove. My goodness. 13 penalties now.
Wow.
Thirteen penalties for 95 yards.
Wow. I'll tell you, as a coach, though, if you can win a game when you still have 13 penalties and are sloppy, it's a great thing because then you got the attention of your kids. And they know they got some work and some things to tighten up.
So now 1st and 25 from back at the 6. Hull got some room again, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, cutting back to the middle of the field, makes another cut back and gets all the way to midfield. A pickup of 45 yards to the Osseo 49.
Have they had great success running to the right side or what? Same play they've scored that first touchdown on. You can see those big linemen out there. And that time I thought Evan Hall went too quick. I thought he should have waited for those linemen, but made that guy miss. And watch the end of this. He's still fighting for the extra 5, 6, 7 yards. He's been an absolute monster tonight. Well, and you can see number 42, TJ Freeze, who's a senior. He's in the game. He's given Evan Hall a quick breather. But it's nice when it's 1st and 25 to have a guy that you could just give the ball to, go get you 40 yards and a first down.
A gift to Scanson here, and he gets 4 yards, close to 5 yards. He's had 4 carries here, Ryan, in the second half, all either 4 or 5 yards.
And remember I told you, every 6 or 7 plays, he's got to get that ball just enough to keep that defensive line and those linebackers occupied or at least thinking about it. And just that half a second, split second will open stuff up for the running backs.
Second down and 6 from the Osseo 45. Under 8 minutes to go. And here's Freeze getting his first gain, and a big one it is, down to the 32-yard line of Osseo. He'll gain 13 yards in his first carry.
And he looked like explosive too, a good athlete. And I'll tell you, when you get your opportunity, you got to take care of the ball. Watch the end of this run. You're going to see the black jerseys try to rip this ball out right there. And a very smart move. You got a new ball carrier in there, maybe not as sharp as holding on to that ball.
TJ Freeze, 13 yards, picks up a first down. He'll stay in the game.
He's got a better average than Evan Hall.
Right. From the 32, we'll go back to Freeze again. And he's stopped this time after a gain of 2. Energy on the tackle for Osseo, number 7. But that clock keeps moving. They got a 2-score lead and we're winding down towards 7 minutes to play.
Yep, and Maple Grove's going to be smart. They'll take 10 to 15 seconds off of every play. They're in no hurry. But at the same time, they got the momentum. Their offensive line has really picked up strength. And I think just a little bit of size starting to wear it. You can see Evan Hall back in the game. And there's that run to the right side again.
Hall, will pick up 4 or 5 yards down to the 26.
If I'm Maple Grove, I'm running that same play, and I'm keeping it if I'm a quarterback. Because they've had so much success running that. If I'm Nate Elms, I'm calling that exact same play, and I'm faking it to him, and I'm rolling him out to the left, and I think he could walk into the end zone.
3rd and 4 for the Crimson. They've broken a 7-7 tie with 2 touchdowns by Evan Hull here in the second half. It's Scanson getting the carry here. He bounces forward close to the first down, but he will be a good yard short. And it's 4th down.
I'll tell you, 4th and 1, that's a hard ask to stop this Maple Grove running attack. You got to really bring a couple extra guys, and you got to hope you get through, and then you better hope when you put a lot of guys in that box that you make that tackle on Evan Hull. If he's able to break one, he could get to that second level pretty easily.
Clock continuing to run on 4th down and 1. And they will go to Hull again. It's got a first down and more. Breaking tackles and all the way down to the 6. Picks up 17 more.
A nice push by that offensive line. Great blocking downfield too by the receivers. I think that was Jack Sand down the field blocking. And it is. Evan Hull's going to get a lot of publicity out of this, and we've certainly talked a lot about him, but it is a total team effort. That offensive line, you got receivers and tight ends, fullbacks, everyone doing their part. Total team game when you have a rushing attack like this.
Timeout, Osseo. While we have this timeout, look at what's coming up on CCX. Cooper and Park Center football Friday afternoon here on CCX1. Next week, a couple of volleyball matches. Blake and Brecken IMAC conference matchup. Hopkins and Wayzata, 2 outstanding Lake Conference teams, meeting in volleyball next Thursday at 7. Andy Gugersberg and I will have those 2 volleyballs. And then next Friday, Ryan Iverson, Aliaro, and Charlie Beatty on the call for St. Agnes and Brooklyn Center football. Centaurs coming off a pretty decent season, lost some good playmakers from a year ago, and we'll see how the Centaurs do here in 2018. An update on some of those scores we looked at halftime. Docino and Creighton-Durham Hall now in a tie. Chanhassen rolling up on Armstrong. Wayzata up on Rosemont.
Yeah.
Eden Prairie in a tough game with Eastview, defending state champs. Edina has gotten on the board. They lead Lakeville South, Mounds View, and St. Michael Albertville in the high-scoring game. Out of the timeout, here's Elms giving it to Hull. Evan Hull, it's in for his 4th touchdown of the night.
And his 3rd one on that same play, again to the right side, pulling 3 guys, and a great cutback, great vision by Evan Hall. Nice push by the offensive line, and that one might have sealed the deal, John.
His 34th carry tonight, unofficially 379 yards and 4 scores.
You know what he does really well too? When he's cutting, he doesn't stop or slow down. A lot of running backs that stop and they lose their power and momentum. Evan Hull does a nice job of sliding while going forward, and it doesn't sound like that's tough, but it's a hard thing to do And you can tell when someone is able to do it because they're just so quick and explosive and shifty.
Look at it again.
Yeah, watch the shiftiness right there. See how he doesn't stop. He keeps going forward. And again, he's fast enough where everyone's pursuing that way, and then all of a sudden he shifts. You really have to have good balance when you're trying to tackle a running back like that. If you lean one direction, you're going to miss him. If you try to arm tackle him, you're going to miss him.
Well, I think his night is done. I don't think he's going to get a 35th carry.
How much? So he's got 34. What did he have at halftime? 18?
18.
So coach really, I mean, he said he wasn't going to run him nearly as much. What happened to that coach?
Well, he didn't. He's 16 carries instead of 18. And although he had 2 called back by penalty, so.
You know, he made some people miss in the backfield, but I thought his offensive line had a better second half too. I thought they did a really nice job of getting push, and when you get a really good running back like that at the second level, then it's over. And again, I don't want to undersell too. I thought a big play, remember this game was still tied when Nate Elms 3rd down and about 5, and he completed that pass for a first down, took that hit, and then the very next play they scored a touchdown. I thought that was a very, very big momentum type play.
Well, and that was the touchdown, put them ahead, broke the tie.
Yep.
Oh, and on the kick, Maple Grove gets down to cover it. Did they get to the ball first? Sure looks like it.
Yeah, it's a live ball after 10 yards, and sure enough, Maple Grove hustling downfield.
Cooper Wegscheid gets on it.
You know, there has to be a sense of urgency when you're a kickoff return team and that ball's loose like that, because it is a live ball, and you can see Osseo guys just kind of jogging there, and Maple Grove, they're sprinting down. Have we seen Maple Grove get onside kick or recover kicks before, John?
Right.
Deja vu, but great hustle getting down. Nice job by number 3, Cooper Wegscheid.
TJ Freeze is the tailback again. He came in for a couple of plays the last series. His whole is done for the evening. Freeze will get his 3rd carry here. Breaks a couple tackles himself.
Oh, he's running
and gets
hard
down
too.
to the 20-yard line. Nice pickup of 6 by the senior.
You know what's even more important, John, is Nate Elms comes into this game never having played, and now he's going to leave winning his first game. Made a couple throws, scored the 2-point conversion, made that big 3rd down, and he's going to leave 1-0 as a starting quarterback, and he's going to gain a ton of experience and a ton of confidence. His next game, he's only going to be able to build on that. Got those first hits out of the way, got some of that nervous energy out of the way, and it's going to make Maple Grove a better football team when he settles down and becomes a more complete quarterback.
2nd down and 4 from the 20. This is Fisk. He's back into the game. First carry since the first half, and there's a nice run there.
You can see he's got some nice speed and a little bit of power too. He's a nice running back, 5'11", 180 pounds. And that's going to be a first down.
Good for him to get a positive play. He mentioned that fumble he had in the first half, and he's a guy that they're counting on to rotate in and make some contributions in the running game. And I think between he and Freeze, it'd be a nice pair to help us.
And it's a tough ask, right? When you know Evan Hall's going to get 99% of those carries, and you're going to come in for spot duty, but you just got to take care of that football. And not always, you know, that's not always an easy thing as well.
Freeze got 6, but there's a flag down. And holding against Maple Grove.
John, what do you think? You ever watch Hard Knocks in the NFL?
No, I don't have HBO.
You know
I know what it is.
Concept.
Yes. Yep.
I'd love the idea here on CCX to do a little Hard Knocks for high school football. I think that'd be something pretty neat to get behind the curtain of high school football programs in our area. I think our viewers would love that kind of chance.
I'll put it in the budget request along with our trip to Madison
get those
to go
approved
see Brad Davis and the Badgers.
It sounds good.
I'll get those approved.
Well, and this is smart leadership too by the quarterback. You know, recognizing he's only a sophomore, but recognizing let's get that play clock down to 4 or 5 before we snap this ball.
Give to Fisk.
Oh,
Nice moves by Herbert Fisk. You get 6 yards.
And you can see why they were high on him. I mean, he's got some nice shifty moves and some explosiveness.
Upcoming schedule for Maple Grove. They will be on the road at Prior Lake next Friday night.
Tough one.
Minnetonka, last year's state runner-up on September 14th at Maple Grove. That'll be the home opener for the Crimson. Youth football night as well, and Burnsville on September 21st.
Yeah, those next 2 weeks, that's going to be a tough one. Prior Lake on the road. Prior Lake ranked in the top 5. And then also Minnetonka expected to have a really good team, having a great senior quarterback return and a really good passing game as well.
Minnetonka with a shutout win over Egan tonight to start the season. Here's Freeze breaking tackles to the end zone. Touchdown, Maple Grove.
Oh, great run.
TJ Freeze in for the score.
Showed some good speed, but he showed some good power there, just carrying some black jersey defenders with him as he crossed that goal line and kept those legs moving. And you can see the sideline pumped up for him, but again, nice job. Nice moves right there. I mean, he goes through 3 black jerseys, and then right here, these last 3-4 yards, just carrying defenders, kept those legs fighting, and a nice touchdown run for Maple Grove.
Strela will try on the extra point. This one up, and this one is in.
You know, if you're just tuning in now, this game was 7-7, halfway through the third quarter?
Right.
And really just Maple Grove pouring it on here the last, 22 minutes of game action.
Upcoming for Osseo, they'll be out White Bear Lake next Friday at Blaine, and then they'll take on Champlin Park. Next time we'll see the Orioles on CCX. The Rebels and the Orioles. That was a good game last year, if you remember, Ryan. We did over at Champlin Park. The Rebels winning late in that one on a field goal.
Well, and then Champlin Park, really made a nice run after that, too. Or was that 2 years ago?
Well, 2 years ago, the run they had to the state playoffs, they got to the semifinals before lost to Eden Prairie. And they had so many injuries last year. If you remember, it started in that Osseo game when Trayvon Cahalan, their big left tackle, went down. They had player after player that got hurt, or maybe that wasn't the Osseo game, it was another TV game we did of theirs. Roseville, I believe, when they had a lot of injuries and just weren't able to recover. Benedetto missed the whole season with a back injury. He's back this year.
He's healthy. They got a new coach, Nick Keenan from Big Lake, took over Champlin Park. He played football at Eden Prairie. Very sharp guy. So, I expect Champlin Park to have a really good year. This is a great area for high school football.
Nice kick coverage. Chance Laurie on the tackle of Jake Hill. I got to get those special teams guys
absolutely.
Shut out when we can.
And you can just tell the energy level, right? Osceo's hanging their heads right now. They don't seem as fast. They're not running to the ball like they were, and that's what momentum does, and that's what turnovers and quick scores, things like that, can be so deflating. And this game is such a game of momentum, and play after play, you build on it. And if I'm Osseo with 2:26 left, I'm trying to get some points on the board, try to get something positive that you can end this game with.
Handoff up the middle and the carry out to near the 30-yard line. Tackled the carry by Khalid Brooks, his first ball carry tonight. Picks up 5. Under 2 minutes to play. Second down. They're throwing downfield. Barlow, and incomplete. Micah Vade making the coverage downfield.
And he's only a freshman, too. I thought that was a really well-thrown ball and a good look and just a really well-defended play by Vade, the freshman. Great position. Used his hands to deflect that. That was excellent coverage on a really well-thrown ball.
The only freshman on either roster, and the rosters we have tonight, that's dressed and comes up with a play here late in the game.
I'll tell you what, 5'9", 170 pounds, and getting some great experience. They must think a lot of him to have him getting varsity action as a true freshman. And he looks like an athlete out there too. It looks like he's fast, and he was in great position there for a cornerback. You know, and that's tough to do too, to have good coverage but not have contact before that ball gets there. But he played that perfectly.
3rd down now and 5 for Osseo. And give the handoff, and cutting back is Brooks, gets across the 30 to 32. Gain of a couple for Brooks. Backups in for Maple Grove, getting some varsity experience here in first game of the season. A mix of starters and backups in for Maple Grove defensively. They'll receive another punt here. Pelto will go back. Looks like Osseo will use all of the play clock and then call timeout. Maybe they'll go for it here. You know, let your offense run another play.
I would go for it, and if you don't get it, you know Coach Lombardi's not. He's probably going to take a knee. Try to go for it. See if you can get a big play, get a spark, something to build off of for these kids in their home opener.
Osseo will take on White Bear Lake, as I mentioned. It's a team they beat here a year ago. So hoping to go to 1-1 next week.
Well, both schools black, orange, and white colors, right? But I'll tell you what, I mean, I know Osseo is going to be disappointed 34-7 here, but they showed glimpses. You know, they have some talented running backs. We knew about Reggie Dupree. He just never was able to get going tonight. I thought Maple Grove did a great job on him, but Sam J. Hitchcock, he announced his arrival with that big 75-yard touchdown run. I think we've seen good stuff out of Jake Kruder, the quarterback. He's only a junior, getting some good experience here. Showed glimpses of some nice throws, and I think we saw maybe an emerging star in Joe Chia, defensively, punting, and even in offense. So I think Osseo's got a bright future and a lot of good athletes. I think it's just a matter of time before they put it together.
He will punt after all. Chia punts it away, his 7th punt.
Huh.
This is going to get to the end zone.
Oh my goodness.
Quite the great effort there by Tony Jackson to try to run it down. A 67-yard punt for Chia.
Well, this just announced that Joe Chia just has won the Ray Guy National Punting Award. He's been phenomenal.
You know, Maple Grove will have it one more time and just run out the clock, presumably. Despite all those mistakes in the first half, Maple Grove able to overcome it in the second half. Oh. Still had some penalties issues in the second half, but not as crippling as those ones in the first half seemed to be to them.
I'll tell you, and if you come out and you win a dominating game and you play really well, you always have that chance of being overconfident, right? Especially going into Prior Lake next week. Coach Lombardi, this is probably exactly, he won't ever admit this, but it's exactly what he wants. They got a good win, did a lot of good things, but they have a lot of things that they can improve on. So he's going to be able to keep their attention tomorrow during film session and practices leading up to next week. I'll expect a much crisper, cleaner game out of the Crimson. And also just more confidence, right? Getting your young quarterback some more experience. And I'll tell you what, when you got a great player on your team that you trust, you believe in, and can get you 300 to 400 yards on 30 carries, that gives you a confidence no matter where you play. And guess what, John? A running attack travels very, very well.
34-7. Maple Grove starts the season with a win over their rivals here from Osseo on opening night. We'll take time out. We'll come back. We'll hear from the Crimson. Our post game coming up from Carlton Field as you've been watching high school football opening night of the season on CCX.
Everybody has a dream. mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Maple Grove 34, Osseo 7 on the season opening game here on CCX Sports. Let's go down to the field. And Ali Yarrow standing by with Evan Hull.
Evan Hull, 4 touchdowns in your season opener. Back to your old ways. How does it feel to be back at it with that kind of a performance?
It's exciting. It's really exciting. You know, and all the days leading up to this, you know, I put out in the universe that I wanted to get 4 touchdowns, 300-some yards, and, you know, that's what happened. I told all my teammates that. They didn't really believe me, but, you know, I believed in myself, and they started believing me coming into those third and fourth quarters for sure.
It was a slow start offensively for you guys, but that second quarter kind of started to spark some more offense. What changed for you guys?
Right. We just started to get some momentum going, honestly. Guys are pushing the right buttons. We got all the jitters out of, like, the first couple of plays, you know, the first game of the season, and we started to play.
Talk about that 70-yard touchdown.
I was running for my life, really. I was running. I saw the hole and I just hit it. I just hit it. Wasn't really thinking about much, honestly.
This is a young team this year. What did you learn about your team in your first Big Lights experience tonight?
Chemistry means a lot. Chemistry is everything, honestly. And it doesn't matter like the experience. It just matters that guys are working together towards a purpose, a single purpose.
Your next 4 games, you know what it is. You're facing 4 of the top teams in the state. What kind of a test was this tonight to get you prepared for that?
It's just getting the first one down. Getting the first one down for sure, and then we'll carry that momentum into the next week.
How gassed are you right now?
I'm feeling good right now, but I definitely was gassed near the end for sure.
Congrats on a great performance tonight, Evan.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Allie. Thanks to Evan. Prior Lake was a winner tonight in their opener, so it'll be a matchup of 1-0 teams next week when the Lakers and the Crimson play at Hull. 379 yards on 34 carries, and as you mentioned, especially in that second half, that offensive line was outstanding, opening holes for him. He doesn't need much, but they certainly were good.
I thought the first half he had to make a bunch of moves just to get past the line of scrimmage. He turned some negative plays into 5-6 yarders. I thought second half they ran that power sweep to the right where they pull the entire left side of the line, and they did a great job of getting that push. And again, you get a kid like that into the second level, he can do the rest very well.
And one more note on their defense, too.
Oh,
really outstanding.
Yep.
Guys that weren't varsity starters a year ago, but really put out a great team effort tonight.
Great speed. I think they're great tacklers. They had a variety of people that contributed. I think Maple Grove's going to be okay.
Well, that'll do it for our first game of the season. One in the books. Another one coming up Friday as Cooper takes on Park Center. Watch for that one live on CCX. For Ryan Iverson, Allie Arlt, and all of our great crew tonight here at Osseo High School, I'm John Jacobson. Our final score, Maple Grove a winner over Osseo, 34-7, the final.